gamers, and welcome to episode 364 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for March 5th, 2022. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
What's going on with a couple of weeks now?
Yeah.
Well, I should be asking you what's been going on, really.
It's out-of-town weddings.
Oh, okay.
That's what's going on. Went to Mexico, Dominic. And it was nice down there.
South of the border.
Yes. Weather was good. Flights weren't terrible because it was like 3 hours to Texas and then 2 hours to Cabo San Lucas, where the wedding took place. So, yeah, it was good stuff.
That's cool, man. It's funny. You know what? I just thought south of the border was South Carolina.
That's because that's how they sell it to you, Dominic. Once you cross that truck stop that's south of the border.
So I remember a little kid. I remember, I forgot who gave me a magnet. And it said south of the border. And I think I saw South Carolina, and I just assumed, it's one of those states down there.
I mean, that's how they sell it. Because you go down 95, and you get to, between North Carolina and South Carolina, there's that big truck stop that's like south of the border.
Yes. But yeah, so, that's cool, man. Yeah, you got to go to Mexico.
It was a good time.
All right. So, I ain't really been doing much. I'm just playing in the metaverse, Daniel. Just
you gotta stay in the metaverse, Dominic. The real world's real bad right now.
Yeah, I got to call it Meta Quest now, right? It's not called Oculus Quest anymore. It's called
it's the Meta Quest.
But wait a minute, but when my sister bought it, it was still Oculus.
Okay, so you're grandfathered into the old metaverse.
Oh, okay.
So you're still an Oculus holder. You don't got the Meta yet.
The Meta Quest. Yeah, I saw that commercial.
Yeah,
everybody's playing. Man, I'm one of those people. I'm one of them. Oh, man. All right. So, I was going to get down to it. Actually, in sports, I don't really have much to talk about. I mean, my Wizards still suck.
Yeah.
I know that. And baseball might not happen. I know they're definitely going to be out for 2 weeks.
Oh, man. It's still going on, huh?
And maybe more. I mean, I don't know if what they have agreed to or anything yet. I don't know what they agreed to anything
baseball game's
yet.
Coming out, Dominic. At least they're not stopping that.
Yeah, exactly. They ain't stopping my MLB. Like I said, I was gonna make up my excuse. Like the Orioles would have been good this year if baseball would have started on time. So there you go. This baseball
game.
Yeah, it's because of the freaking strike. That's why. All right. So anything else happen in sports? Oh yeah. I see. We did the Capitals kick out Ovechkin yet? Did they kick him off the team yet? Because of the thing they're discussing, the Ukraine stuff. I'm just assuming because I've seen all these video games just take out Russian teams and things. I'm like, oh God, are you guys gonna take out the Russian players in the NHL? Are they going to do that? Did
Ovechkin play for the Russian Olympic team?
He has.
Has he? He might be out then.
I don't think any major players played in the last Olympics. I think none. And this past Olympics, I don't think any major NHL players played.
Gotcha.
But yeah, of course, the big news is the what's going on between Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah.
And of course, since we're the United States of America, we are definitely pro-Ukraine. So there you go. But anyway, you see that a lot of companies are being doing things on the ladder, not supporting the Russian products, or as far as video games, it's taking out some content that's Russian. Like in FIFA, I believe they took out the Russian team.
Same with NHL.
NHL was just the Russian, the Olympic team.
The
right?
Olympic team.
Yeah, exactly.
The Russian national team.
Because that's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking. It's whoa, are they going to take out the Russian players there too? I
just searched for Ovechkin, and there's an article on Deadspin from yesterday that is, what of Alex Ovechkin now? As much as I enjoyed him over the years, it's hard to enjoy him today. Why? I don't know if he's come out and said anything about any of this stuff.
Well, I think one thing I saw was something he didn't say. Somebody said, he didn't come out and say it. I was like, dude, I think that's the best choice for him.
Apparently, he has not been shy about his relationship and affection for Vladimir Putin in the past.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So.
Okay. I mean,
At some
look, man,
point, he boiled it down to a simple equation: president equal good.
that is no different than a lot of Americans over here.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, let's see. When Ovechkin finally spoke about the current invasion, he never mentioned Ukraine or the Ukrainian people. It was a pawing at the easiest branch to reach for, that of simple and generic peace. That feels too simple. And given that he said it in the past, he wouldn't be remiss to thinking that Ovechkin simply doesn't care. He doesn't care, Dominic, because he wants peace. He doesn't care.
That's how I feel. I mean, now I don't know how he truly feels. I think that's a good thing he said. And for you to criticize that is like, come on, man. What are you doing? The dude is a Russian citizen. I don't know how he feels about this, like he wants them to win or not, but he's still a Russian citizen. He might just love his country. And he didn't speak anything badly. Thing is, he didn't say nothing bad about the Ukrainians. So I think that's okay, what he's done. And thing is, that's how I feel. I feel like I just want peace. Well, any dispute that involves killing around the world, of any of these battles or wars, I'm not on a particular side, honestly. I just want to be peaceful. Like, if Ukraine just came out and said, like, say at the beginning, and Ukraine had just said they surrendered and Russia took over, but nobody got killed, I think I'll be, me personally, because this honestly has nothing to do with me. I'll be like, oh, that's good. At least nobody got killed.
Right.
But I mean, I know there's other things aside of politics and stuff behind that, but that, I'm sorry, that has nothing to do with me. I got shit over here to deal with.
Yeah.
That's something for them to deal with. And
I think the reason everyone looks from the outside on this is like, oh, the Russians bad, Ukraine good, is because the Russians are the aggressors in this case. Yeah.
And Russia, not only the Russians aggressors, I mean, Russia is against them from the beginning. It's like very cold. I mean, it's like, like cold shoulder thing. It's funny. It's like how we always speak badly about each other, but we still do trades and still get oil and stuff. It's like, it's so weird. It's just, I guess it's like with China. Like in China, we say bad things.
Everything's,
but everything we buy and do everything with China. So it's like, what the fuck? That's why I never get it. It's like, dude, I'm not gonna be part of this. Y'all want to hate each other. You can do that. I'm not gonna be part of that. All right? Because none of this shit makes sense to me. Because I just feel like if they're so out, as much as y'all talk about how bad these other countries are, but I see we still do trades. We still get exchange products and stuff and money and everything. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. I guess they ain't that bad. I guess as long as the money's good, I guess it don't matter. But that's why I said whatever. Look, but yeah, I hope the war ends either way, for these people can live their lives. I mean, and definitely it's just selfish for me. I want the war to end just because I want to fucking hear about it more, and we can focus on shit over here. Honestly,
on my gas prices go back down.
Yeah, that too. I mean, yeah, that's that. All right. So what else? You got anything you want to say? Anything else happening? Anything in wrestling?
Big wrestling news this week is that Tony Khan, the owner of AEW, also purchased Ring of Honor. So Ring of Honor, I talked a little bit about it, I think at the end of last year, that they were they let everybody go from their contracts and seemingly were kind of going to go in a different direction. They were going to take like a hiatus, and then allegedly we're going to come back sometime in the spring of this year and reevaluate like whatever they were doing as far as TV product goes and everything. They were owned by Sinclair Broadcasting, which is kind of a big conservative thing that owns a lot of local news channels and whatnot. You might hear about them through like not Jon Stewart, what's his name on HBO now? John Oliver. Yeah.
John Oliver. Oh, what would John Oliver say?
Yeah, he's done pieces on them and whatnot. It's basically they kind of give a company line to all these local broadcast news places, and so it's not like local news anymore. It's more kind of like serving a certain political agenda.
Okay, yeah.
But the Sinclair hasn't. It doesn't seem like they've really brought that into Ring of Honor too much. It's really just been, they haven't necessarily put the money or investment into Ring of Honor needed to make it a bigger product. It went from like the place where people like Bryan Danielson or Seth Rollins and big names that are either in AEW or WWE now, all at some point kind of filtered through ROH in the early years, you know, Samoa Joe, CM Punk, guys like that, you know, they had an incredible roster many years ago. As of late, they've really been struggling, just trying to keep up relevancy. And I think this is a good move for both Tony Khan, AEW, and Ring of Honor, because as long as it seems like he might keep it around as a brand, you know, maybe make it basically an NXT to his WWE. I think that could be really interesting, especially if he kind of mixes the talent between, you know, send some of the big name AEW guys to ROH and kind of moves talent around a little more than NXT and WWE ever have, just to kind of keep things interesting. All those titles are still out there. So I don't know if he's going to be keeping those and bringing those guys back in. I think that would probably be for the best. But really what it's about is that tape library, just having all those matches from all the big names that you have now, you know, Bryan Danielson matches from 2004, CM Punk matches from 2006, stuff like that. That's a big boon for him. You know, he can now weave all that into video packages for current matches and things of that nature. So that's big.
Okay.
There was a lot of speculation going into it because he had announced that he was going to make an announcement on Dynamite, and some people were speculating that there was maybe an HBO Max deal in place, which...
Is Dynamite like an event?
Dynamite is their weekly Wednesday night show. Yeah, and but they do have this week Revolution, which is one of their like big 4 pay-per-views, and that's happening tomorrow night. Unfortunately, they've kind of moved away from the Saturday night pay-per-view, which I really liked because, you know, it's fine that it goes on late because I don't have to wake up early in the morning the next day to go to work. But yeah, they've kind of been shying away from that. Mostly they've been doing them on like holiday weekends though, even though that doesn't really affect me because, I don't typically get a lot of the like kind of federal holidays off necessarily. So like when they do stuff like Labor Day weekend or something like that, it doesn't really help me out, but at least I see the intention there. Whereas this is just like, oh yeah, it's just, you know, March. So yeah, but that should be exciting. The card for that is looking really good. And there's speculation that, you know, there's still a lot of free agent wrestlers that have not shown up anywhere yet. And there could be some big names that debut at this show. Also, Cesaro, who is kind of a big name in WWE. He's never really gotten a lot of opportunity, but as far as like in-ring wrestling, he's one of the best. He actually, his contract expired. He had signed like last year, and everybody was kind of like, oh yeah, I guess he's just going to take the money and not going to go to AEW or whatever. But I guess it was a short-term deal, and he just kind of quietly ended things there. It sounded like he wasn't necessarily looking to leave, but they weren't offering him the money that he was looking for. So hopefully that leads to greater opportunity for him elsewhere. I know a lot of people are saying the AEW roster is kind of getting bloated right now, and he wouldn't necessarily have a place near the top that people would want for him. I think he could be a great asset to New Japan. I think if they could get him into AEW for some guest matches, if they do something with New Japan, that would be also excellent. Really, I just want to see him wrestle somewhere because he is a fantastic wrestler, and I would like to see him get more opportunities. So yeah, that's kind of where we are right now with wrestling, Dominic.
All right, that's cool, man. Yeah. It's cool. So what's going on in WWE? Is it?
What is going on with WWE? WrestleMania is coming up. Logan Paul is going to be wrestling there, as well as Johnny Knoxville from Jackass, and Pat McAfee, who you're familiar with him, right? He was former Colts kicker. I've talked about him, I think, a couple of times now, as far as doing wrestling. He does commentary on SmackDown. He also has like that super popular podcast where Aaron Rodgers gets himself in trouble. He had Vince McMahon on there this past week, and Vince basically offered him a match at WrestleMania. So he's going to be wrestling, not Austin Aries, Austin Theory. That's what it is. Austin Theory. Austin Theory's been in a storyline with Vince McMahon, basically like being his like surrogate son, like trying to bring him up. It's been kind of weird, but that should be fun. Pat McAfee, the couple of times he wrestled in NXT, was actually very good. So that could be fun. The Logan Paul thing, not really interested in that. He's teaming with The Miz to fight. Honestly, I don't even remember who at this point. And Johnny Knoxville is either going to be fighting Sami Zayn or is going to be involved in a multi-man Intercontinental title match, because Ricochet actually beat Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship last night on SmackDown. I hope that was their way of going like, oh, this match with Johnny Knoxville does not need the title attached to it. We'll just do that. And, then they'll do like a multi-man thing for the IC title. Because they're doing 2 nights again. So they really just need to fill out a lot of time. And with their like dwindling roster, which so the video game comes out soon, and the roster of people that no longer work for the company or are legends make up about like 40%, or I think it's like 47. It's almost 50% of the playable people in that game, which is a little absurd. But that's just kind of where they are with like dumping everybody. So WrestleMania is coming up. The big thing is Brock versus Roman title versus, I don't know if it's title versus title, because now apparently they're saying it's like for the undisputed title, basically. Like they're going to bring those 2 titles together and consolidate them. That doesn't really make sense, though, because they have 2 separate shows, 2 separate brands on 2 networks. Like, you're not going to be Fox and want, the title guy on Raw every week and not show up on your show, and vice versa with USA. So I don't know. There's a lot of speculation out there that they're going to do this and then introduce another new title or another old title or something. Basically, they did this many years ago. Like Chris Jericho unified the titles, and then like 2 weeks later, Ric Flair or Eric Bischoff or somebody just gave Triple H the title. Like, oh, here, you're on Raw. You need a title. Here you go. So I don't know. Honestly, I haven't been following WWE that much. I will, of course, watch WrestleMania because it's a spectacle. But the weekly product, I really haven't been following that much.
All right. So, you know what? You just reminded me about, like, you was talking about the channels. I was trying to think about the USFL. I forgot about that. That's supposed to be happening this year. That doesn't happen till April. I thought it was March. I thought it was going to be something sooner. But I guess that'll be good because there probably won't be no baseball. So you watch some football. Darn it, man. I wonder if that league's going to last. But all right, so I guess we're moving on to what we're moving on to. What we've been watching.
Yeah.
So I'll start my shows real quick because it's stuff I've already seen before, but I just watched it in 3D on the Oculus.
Nice.
Like Tron Legacy. That, you know what? Now that I watched it again, sometimes I think I only watched it maybe one time after I seen it in theaters. I think I saw it with you and your sister and MJ. that movie, it's okay. It's not that good. I liked it more when I first saw it, and probably the second time I saw it. But then watching it again, like visually, it looks good. It looks really good. But then now I'm watching it, so I'm critiquing it a lot more. I'm seeing why people weren't really high on it. And I was like, yeah, it could have been so much better, though. That's the thing. I'm like, I wonder why they went the route they went with this. Like, this could have been something else for Disney. And the TV show now, I forgot what the subtitle for that was. The Tron cartoon that only lasted for a season. I had watched all those episodes years ago. Well, I think when they were on TV coming on. That was good. Like, that was probably the best Tron media out there. But it just didn't have any, I guess it didn't grab enough attention from people. But it was real good. It was done so well. I want to say, was Elijah
Tron
Wood
Uprising
speaking for one of those? Was Elijah Wood speaking for the character?
Okay. Beck, apparently.
So that was good. That's when that's like his pre-NFT days. Like that's when he got into it. He was I'm in the system. Oh, NFTs, yes. I understand it. So I was in Tron Uprising, so I understand all this stuff.
That's exactly what it is. He entered the metaverse, Dominic. You can't get him back now.
All right. Also, I watched Mad Max in 3D. Yeah, that movie's still great. I still love that movie. And
how was the 3D effect in that?
It's good. You know what? I don't think, because we didn't watch it in 3D when I went with you, right?
No.
And I didn't watch it in 3D when I think I went with my dad. So so this had to be the first time. Because I was thinking, like, did I see this movie in 3D? Because I just don't remember watching this in 3D. 3D effects were good. I mean, they were fine. They were fine. I think I actually enjoy watching 3D movies home more so than because I was pause it. I think because I can pause it and or just stop or something. But yeah, the movie. Like I said, the movie is still great. It's still a great movie. I guess that Furiosa movie supposed to be coming out now.
Oh, really?
Oh, I thought we discussed that. That they were doing one based on Charlie Stern's character.
I thought I had,
but it wasn't going to be her. It was going to be another person because I think it's supposed to be a prequel. Yeah, I believe it's a prequel. So I guess they're going real younger. But yeah, I was a little upset because I like Charlie Stern. And then I'm trying to make sure if that's still even happening.
Yeah, it looks like 2023 Mad Max The Wasteland, maybe.
But I don't think they call it Mad Max though. I didn't.
Okay, maybe that's a different.
I thought they might have had something with her subtitle. I don't know. So it's
Furiosa movie 2024.
Oh darn! Oh, actually, after. Wow. So is the Mad Max movie is that going to be with what should we call it? Hardy?
Yeah, Hardy and Charlize Theron, but it's also got Anna Taylor-Joy, who's the girl from Queen's Gambit and other things, and it looks like she may be the one that's playing the younger one because then this Furiosa movie, she's one of the people that's cast along with Chris Hemsworth.
Okay, so Charlize Theron is going to be in the next one too, so that's good. That's good if that's still happening.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised, hard because I remember hearing some bad things with him doing Mad Max. I didn't think they'll be working together again. I mean, maybe
it's all green screened.
Yeah. I was saying no. I mean, he apologized. I remember he apologized saying for something, but maybe they did made up for it or something.
Yeah, there is from 5 days ago on Cinema Blend. One major way Furiosa will be different than Mad Max Fury Road. The prequel will not just be a copy of Mad Max Fury Road. So definitely still in the works.
Oh, okay. All right. So what we have? So what did you watch?
So I started watching Succession. I've heard a lot about Succession. Well, I've heard people talking about Succession. I didn't really know what I was.
Who you heard talking about it? Who you heard talking about it?
Just podcasts and stuff that I listen to.
Oh, okay.
Like movie podcasts and stuff. It'll come up or I'll see it on Twitter. But I've never really seen what it's about outside of like spoiled rich kids, you know, battling over an empire or something. And that's basically what this is.
They're spoiled rich adults.
Yeah.
You get that right.
I don't know, the way their father treat them, they are basically children. Yeah, and that's kind of what it is like this patriarch of a like media empire running everything from theme parks to news stations and whatnot, and his kids are trying to position themselves to be next in line. Basically, the one man, Kendall, he seemingly was, you know, at the top there, and then, you know, in season 1, we're on season 3 now, so I feel like I can spoil season 1 a little bit. You know, he attempts basically a coup to try and overthrow his father. You spoiled
it because I ain't finished watching it. Oh, God.
Yeah, sorry. You're not going to go back after the come on the window, Dominic. So, but yeah, so that's kind of where that goes, and it's like you and I were talking about. Like, there aren't really any likable characters in the show except maybe the one kid, Greg, who's kind of the outsider. He's like one of the cousins that comes into the family. Because he's like initially in the first episode, I think, starts out as part of their like management training thing that they have, which involves you getting in costume at the theme park, and basically just throws up out of the eyes of the mascot. And then his mother's like, "Yo, you can talk to your uncle, and he's gonna just basically, you know, set you up for life or whatever." But he comes in and he's treated as an outsider, just like you would expect, because he's like some kid from the Midwest or whatever, coming into this like metropolitan family and dealing with all their drama. But it's definitely intriguing. Like it keeps me watching, but at the same time, like it's hard for me to necessarily be rooting for anyone. Like, initially it feels like Kendall, you're like, okay, I can support this guy. He's like a recovering drug addict. He seems like he's straightening his life out, and things just go sideways for him. And at a certain point, it's just like, oh yeah, this isn't good. And you just don't see enough of Greg to really be able to like latch on to him in that way.
So what about the oldest brother? I remember he just didn't want to do nothing with the do nothing with them.
Yeah, he's still there. He's just kind of on the fringes. He's the guy from Spin City, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's there. He's there a lot more than he is initially in like the first couple episodes, but he still doesn't really want to be involved in the politics of the company and the way it's run. So yeah, I think all the characters are definitely interesting, and they keep evolving. It's just they aren't necessarily evolving for the better. It really just seems like a downward spiral for everybody. Yeah, maybe if you end up watching some of it, we'll talk about it a little more. But it's definitely an interesting show. It's high quality. You know, it's an HBO show. I think it's well done. The writing's good. But that's kind of where I'm at with that. Don't have much more to say on it.
All right. So now we get into the games. So what we've been playing. So I guess to start with you. You played that new Kirby game, the demo.
Yeah. Nintendo released Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
Okay.
They've released a demo for that over the past couple of days. It's a what's that?
Recording video?
I did. Yes, I did. It is on the drive. So it's about, what I played of it was about 40 minutes. I think the demo can be completed in about 30, and then they tell you like, hey, if you go back and play the levels, you can get like this evolved power-up situation.
That's good. It's a limited time demo?
No, it's just like you can keep playing the different levels if you want. It's just 3 kind of little sections a game.
Oh, that's good. But wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is it now there's a limited time and then there's like you could play but a certain amount of times?
I have not noticed that.
Okay.
They didn't give me any indication upon launch.
That's stupid too. I hate all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's like you can play it you can only launch this game 3 times or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was like 30 times for the Switch games for demos. I think like the first Kirby Switch game was like, I think it was like 30 times.
Thing, right? Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm at a different age now because like back in the day, I definitely would have just like continually
I'm not gonna play that much, but just to
over.
have a limit is just stupid.
Yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, but as far as this goes, like I said, 3 levels, kind of 2 exploration things, and then 1 that's more boss focused. I think it's fine. It is easy. Even they give you kind of a difficulty thing. There's like a wild quote unquote mode, which is the more difficult version, and then I forget what the easier default mode is. It's a Kirby game. I don't think anything's particularly hard about it. The enemies aren't too aggressive, and even the bosses. And the ability to just float makes any jump basically, you don't have to worry about it. It's not like you're doing these very precarious platforming things. The one thing that did stand out to me, though, and maybe it's just I wasn't paying attention, was I very much came into it thinking, oh, it's a full 3D Kirby. This is going to be like a Mario Odyssey kind of thing.
Yes.
And it's not that. The camera is still very limited. You can't spin it around Kirby. It's one of those like, oh, you can tilt it to the left, you can tilt it to the right to kind of see around you.
There was a 3D Kirby game on N64, right?
I don't think so. It was 2.5D basically. Like it was.
What about the GameCube then? I remember something where
GameCube was there one other than Kirby Air Ride.
I was about to say it was an Air Ride. I could have sworn there was something on 64 where I saw behind Kirby's back.
Yeah, I think the only one on 64 was the Crystal Shards, and that was it was in 3D, but it was on a 2D plane kind of thing. Like
okay,
Yoshi's
I see
Island.
what you're saying. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I remember liking that game. I don't know how it would stand up nowadays. So far, that hasn't bothered me too much, but it was definitely something that immediately struck me as like, oh, this isn't exactly what I was expecting, because I was very much just expecting like a free roaming kind of Kirby game. But part of me is like, oh, then you would just be making it Mario, so I guess they got to keep it, different in some way. But it very much just feels like a Kirby game in a 3-dimensional world. You have your enemies, you suck them up, you get their powers, and then you use their powers to take down other enemies and kind of explore a little bit. I would be interested to see if worlds get a little more complex and complicated later in the game, because these levels are very much just like, oh, here's, it's very sparse. Like enemies are kind of few and far between. There's not a whole lot going on. The environments don't look terrible. They've got some detail to them. It's not just kind of flat shades and whatnot. So it looks fine, but there's nothing like visually impressive about it. You definitely start to see like as enemies are further away, they have like lower numbers of animations. Like they feel more jittery, and I actually kind of like the look of that because it fits kind of the Kirby aesthetic. They do have a couple of the like mouthful mode things, like you do get to drive around as the car and utilize the soda machine. I think those things are cute. They just give you basically kind of like a special power or a power up that you wouldn't be able to normally do as Kirby. Yeah, I think in general it's fine. I don't know that it's convinced me that I need this game. If anything, honestly,
no, you need it. That's the only way I'm going to play.
I feel like I probably will.
Or get the Pokemon game, one of them
with the Arceus.
Yeah.
See, it's hard for me to do that now with that. I mean, let's just say, like, they announced another Pokemon game.
Yeah, I know, and it's coming out this year.
I just don't know, like, that.
Is that going to be so much better? That you're going to be like, so damn, I should have just waited for this one.
I mean, honestly, I don't know that it's going to be that much different, but at least And honestly, in ways, I think this one might be better because it's probably going to have older Pokemon in it that I'm more used to.
And the Arceus one, every time I see the game, it's always that the palette is always like old kind of looking. Yeah. Like it's got like an orangey kind of red kind of palette. Like it's always a sunset.
Yeah.
It seems like it's always sunset. And then when I showed up new Pokemon game, it's all bright and colorful. I'm like, does it not always be a sunset in Arceus? Can that just be? I think it does, but just I think it just so happens that certain places it just look like that. I don't know, but
I think there's an aspect of that too, though, right? Where they are trying to go for like an olden aesthetic because like even the Pokeballs are made of like bamboo and stuff like that. You know, they're going for a more
but that doesn't mean, a long time ago it wasn't like the sun always set.
It's perpetually setting down.
In feudal Japan,
in feudal Japan, they did not have night. It was just perpetual sunset and sunrise. Yeah. No, I definitely get what you're saying though, because definitely like blue skies and bright open areas in this new one, right? In the Scarlet and
just like when people every time they do a film that's like, oh, it's gonna be in like the Middle East somewhere, it's always that orange look to it, and it's like I think like, oh, I guess that's what it looks like there. God, this time just different in those places that it doesn't get like bright and sunny out there, like real colorful. What the hell?
The reflections off the sand. Yeah. So I don't know, because that definitely part of me was like, I should get Arceus, and then I was like, oh, if I'm going on this trip, I could get that and play it on the plane or whatever, and that didn't end up happening. I did play some Mario Kart 8. I went back to that just as a kind of time filler when I wanted to do something.
Because you're getting that DLC, that's why.
Probably. But I don't know. It's weird. Like going back to that game, I'd gotten most of the trophies in like the 100cc, and that's kind of where I feel comfortable. Like 150 is pushing the boundary of like the challenge that I want to deal with when you involve like the rubber band AI of Mario Kart. And it's just like, I don't know, like there's this weird like valley where I want the difficulty of Mario Kart to be, where it's because like 100cc, it's basically I get out in front of everybody and then I stay there until I get hit by a blue shell, which happens way too often in that game. Like I remember blue shells feeling somewhat rare back in the day, and now it's just like I'm getting hit by 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think it is. And it's too often in that where I don't get it, but they have it. And and then I remember, now I haven't played it in a while, but I remember playing it when I was playing on the Wii U. I was getting pissed because I kept just getting coins every time I get pick a thing.
That's absolutely what you get. You get coins, and you might get, what is the other thing that you get? You don't get mushrooms.
What, the one green shell or something?
Yeah, not even that really. What is it? It's something that, banana peels.
Oh, yes, banana peels. Yes.
It's basically, coins and single banana peels is what you get.
And I'm just thinking, like, what the hell? I mean, it's not really, I guess, I'm sure they put those higher because they're, but I'm saying, like, why? Everybody else should be getting them too then. Like, they shouldn't be getting, like, god damn.
And I think that's what makes it not fun is, like, I get out in front and then basically I wait until somebody hits me with a blue shell, and then maybe somebody will pass me because it's still, I'm still really far ahead of everybody.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Is this, they don't have that. I think that's why I always fall off too. I get to a point and where the harder difficulty is too hard for me. Mm-hmm. And the one right below it is a little too easy.
Yeah.
Because I don't like it. It's not, it's fun being in first for a while, but then it gets boring. Yeah. It's like, I wanted to be like,
and it gets frustrating when you've been in first the entire race and then right at the third lap, somebody gets a blue shell 2 feet from the finish line, hits you, and then the person that was behind you this entire time just speeds past you and beats you. And it's like, that's not fun. Not if I'm going for the trophies and I'm trying to come in first in every course. Like that's not fun. I mean, that would be more fun if it was against a person, but as far as like a single player experience.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more frustrating than anything. So yeah, just to jump back to Kirby real quick, that was kind of my thoughts on it, though. It was a little surprising that it wasn't as free roamy as I thought it was going to be, and maybe it does that later in levels, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be kind of a level-based thing that, for the most part, you're behind Kirby's back, and that's maybe not necessarily what I was expecting from this, and maybe that's my own fault for not seeing more, or at least like looking into it more about what it was. But the way I feel like they were selling it was like Kirby's first full 3D adventure.
I really thought I was thinking Mario. I was thinking Mario Odyssey.
I thought I was taking more of that away. So yeah, I will see how it goes. I'll wait for reviews, and then maybe I'll consider, that or Arceus, because Arceus is definitely interesting, but the kind of like graphics and I don't mean to say like that's a big deal, but it's an aspect of a game still. Like, this is a game that we've been waiting to be this game for at least 10, 12 years now, and
yes.
They finally get there but can't keep up with the graphics end of it, and it's like, well, you finally got the gameplay. What's going on here? Like, we're still behind the times. Why are we still playing a game that you probably could have pulled off on the game?
Let's get a few of those JRPGs that's coming out for the Switch that came out like 20 years ago that they're bringing back.
Yeah, so that's frustrating. And then you see that they're announcing this new one, and it's like, oh, maybe they'll put a little more attention into it to get it more up to speed with a modern game. And you and I both know maybe that's a questionable thought as well, because this is still a Pokemon company we're talking about. But the fact that they're willing to release that game, because we literally just got Shining Diamond and Pearl at the end of last year, then we got Arceus at the beginning of this year, and now we're getting another quote-unquote mainline Pokemon game at the end of this year. Like, that just seems excessive. It seems like too much.
Yeah, it's like, darn, y'all didn't do this before.
You didn't do this when you were flooding the market with Pokemon games.
Yeah,
because these are at least different games.
Like, they were different Pokemon games.
Because you would get like Yellow or something.
Yeah, like you might get you get Pokemon, like you get something that's like a mainline Pokemon game, but then you get like trading cards, Mystery Dungeon, and blah blah blah. Right. Now you're giving like the same type of game though.
Yeah. But more evolved.
Yeah. It is not even just like a halfway. It's not even a half step.
Yeah. So it's like weird.
It's like good but bad at the same time. It's like, darn, what's going on now? Like that, because I feel like you could almost like you could have Arceus or something and add more to that. Mm-hmm. Like to build upon that. But you're going to a new game. Well, now will this you be? I mean, Arceus, I guess they have a DLC for it, right? So I'm assuming they're gonna have. I mean, I'm thinking, but
maybe.
Yeah. Now with this game coming out, because they had DLC for the last game, and I'm thinking for this new mainline, they definitely had to have DLC for it, like something like, oh, we go open up this new island and this new one, just like they did the last one. I thought they would do that with Arceus. Maybe they do. Maybe they got. I mean, they do have so much money. Maybe they got a big enough team they can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for you to have, like you said, the remake from last year and just months later, it's crazy that what the Pokemon company's doing. All right, so I guess we get into what I've been playing. So I'm going to start with just the normal games before I get into the Oculus games.
All right.
Halo Infinite, I did beat. Nice. I finished that. I finished the main storyline, I should say. Now I'm at the point where, I'm sorry. When you finish the main storyline, I'm assuming, I guess, if you didn't finish the other missions, or maybe you do finish, maybe it's still the same. At the end, he does say, the new Cortana does say, like, so what do we do now? And say, we finish the fight. And that's when you go ahead and just keep playing. So it's like, okay. So that's how they do it. That's pretty good, because, I mean, that's what he always says. But the story-wise, I really had to look up some stuff, but it was sad. The ending was pretty sad to me. I enjoyed the game overall. Mm-hmm. The story, I mean, it's a Halo story. I mean, I think it's better than some of the other ones, but still, I don't know. I was hoping for a lot better. But gameplay-wise, the game was great. I do like how to do bosses in this game now, even though I know in some instances you could probably beat them pretty fucking easily, some of these bosses. But the big bosses, they not as easily. Unless you're playing on easy, like I am. It's pretty easy. But I can see it being a lot more challenging on normal. It's just I think it's the people you face on the map, like the random, well, not random, but like the leaders out there where you collect like a special weapon. They make them like, oh, these guys are so tough, but then you just get like a ship or something, you just blow them up, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's it. But the regular story bosses, they were pretty good. They were good. I mean, I liked the few I fought at the end too. You fought like elite that was going invisible and stuff, and that was cool because you were just in like a dark room and something fighting them. So I was like, oh, okay, this is neat. I like the atmosphere. Mm. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed this Halo game. This is probably the best. This is definitely the best 343 Halo game. Like, I think this is the best game they made. All right, so what else we have? I just want to know when they're going to put out the co-op. Like, when is that coming?
That's like, a good question.
I just think, like, what? I just wonder what happened that to make it so that this took so long to come out. Anyway, also I played Craftopia. Now, the reason I played Craftopia, this game's been out since I forgot when, but it's still in a game preview. Basically, okay. It's still in a beta or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. Early access, I should say. It's still early access. I played it on Xbox because it is on the cloud. It's also on PC. Also, I don't know if it's on the PlayStation. It might be too. Craftopia is basically like a Zelda, like Breath of the Wild. Really, this is like a Breath of the Wild clone.
Definitely has that look,
and you can do a lot of things just like Breath of the Wild, but it's more, I guess it's more of a survival aspect to it than Breath of the Wild. Even though Breath of the Wild has survival aspects too, but I think they're more lenient on it. Yeah. This seems like it's very open. Not really my type of game, but the reason I played is because the guys who made this game is going to make that Power World game, which is that violent Pokemon game. Yeah. So some of the developers came off this game and are doing that game. And I wanted to get familiar with this game so I can see how I kind of get a visual what that Power Word is going to maybe be like, because they're going to have crafting elements and stuff too. And I was saying like, oh, is this just multiplayer? But Power Word, I think it's going to be like, hopefully Power World will be like this game, because this game you can be, I think, in an open world with other people, or you can just be by yourself. Oh, okay. And hopefully Power Word would do the same thing. That you don't have to always be online, or if you have to be online, at least you can be by yourself. You could be, just single player. So hopefully that's what the game will be like. I mean, Craftopia, I mean, it seems like an alright game. That controls wise, it feels a little loose. Mm. But other than that, I mean, it seems okay. I mean, it's definitely a Breath of the Wild clone, but I can see people enjoying it. It's not my type of game, but I can see people enjoying it. So what else have I played? I played a game called Far Changing Tides. The main title is Far, and the subtitle is Changing Tides. This is actually a sequel, which I didn't know was a sequel. There was a game that came out, was it 2018? The original one? I forget. I forgot. I'm trying to think what was that one called?
Alone Sales.
Okay, Alone Sale. I never heard of that game. Have you heard of that game?
Yes. I was thinking, actually, I thought you had talked about it at some point, but I've seen it before. I don't remember. It might have come up as like, oh, they announced the second game or something, and we talked about it for a news thing or something.
Well, maybe you talked about it, because I've never heard it. I've never seen this game. If I seen it, I never really knew about it. Mm-hmm. This game, right now, I'm playing the sequel, and it feels like Inside. It feels like Inside, and what's another game like Inside? What's the one with the World War I side scrolling game?
Valiant Hearts.
Yeah, it's something like that along those lines. Okay. Except for the story, I think you don't really get a story. So it's probably closer to Inside. It's puzzly. Like you just gotta try to move stuff and fix stuff, and you can't. I haven't died yet. I don't know if you can die, honestly.
Okay.
In this game, and I think that's why I was saying Valiant Hearts. Because Valiant Hearts, could you die?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't
feel
remember
like
either.
It's war, so you should be able to. But I don't.
I don't
recall a fail state in that necessarily.
Like, how did you shoot? Did you just shoot people in that game? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't even remember there being combat necessarily.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't know if you died. But yeah, because this is one of those games where, yeah, you don't really die. You probably get stuck because you're trying to figure out how to get past something. Mm-hmm. I mean, it seems okay. Now, the reviews are good for this, but the first one got great reviews. And I think the one review I looked at, I think is that it wasn't too much different from the first one. That's the only reason it didn't get as great a review.
Makes sense, I guess.
But yeah, I just never heard this game for it to have that many good reviews. I don't remember this game. I don't remember ever talking about this at all. But I mean, it seems cool. This one, it seems cool. I like how you control the ship. Like you get this weird contraption boat, and you have to like move the sail a certain way to go. Sometimes you might get stuck somewhere, so you have to go underwater to figure out how to move something out the way that's in the way of the ship. You might have to go to a building and do something like pull a lever, and then you gotta figure out where to put this plug at and stuff, things of that nature.
Yeah,
it's and visually, it looks like Inside. Looks like kind of along those lines. And I recorded some video of it. Yeah, I like it. I think it's all right. Another game I played was Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's finally on the cloud. I was so happy.
Nice.
And now I'm probably never going to play this game again. Because it is definitely a flight simulator.
Wet. Yeah.
It definitely, because well, first of all, they don't show you crashing. I try to crash, and then and it just goes black. Or actually, I think I had assist on, so they kind of just took me off the controls.
They're like, no, you don't.
Yeah, I think I just crashed into a building. Like, I was already up in the air. But it's like, it don't show you no crash or anything. But what I was really mad at was the visuals. It did not look good, at least in the cloud. It did not look that great. Like, I was like, I'm not impressed by this. Like, this looks nothing like what I seen in those trailers. Yeah. And I mean, they're supposed to be off the Xbox Series X, so I'm like,
right.
Maybe I have to see it on like a TV, because this is not impressing me at all.
Get the PC version.
Yeah, but I probably can't run that shit. It probably runs so fucking slow. But that was really what the problem was. I was like, this isn't really great, and things are just popping up. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and then it's boring. It's boring because it's literally a flight. It's really like real planes. So I'm not shooting down anything, like no dogfight or nothing. So I was like, nah. I said, yeah, this is not for me. And the only thing I really cared, like, for a game like this would be the visuals. And since the visuals didn't look that great to me, I was like, yeah, I didn't stick with it. Mm. So yeah, I'm not the person you want to ask about this game. I mean, unless I had a great PC and I can at least look good, I can say, hey, this looks great. Yeah, this didn't look that great. The last of the regular games I played was Danganronpa, which I discussed it before I played it. It's the game will trigger Happy Havoc 10th Anniversary Edition. It's the Japanese game, like anime visual novel game, where you play as a kid who is stuck in the school with some of your other classmates, where a psychotic mechanical bear has trapped you there, and saying that the only way you can leave is if you murder someone and get away with it. And then you have a trial, and if they pick the wrong person, you get to go and everybody else gets to die. But if you get caught and they get you at the trial, you die, and then the game still keep going on. So I liked it. I mean, the game was good. It's it can be sad, but it's funny at the same time. I mean, if you don't animate, that's how some animes are. Like, it's it'd be some like sadistic shit happening, and it'd be serious, but then all of a sudden like something a little goofy happens, and it's like, oh, okay. It kind of takes attention away, but I still like that little horror kind of aspect of it. And like I understand the rules now. So because what I was saying before was that, hey, I'll let them guess wrong, and now I know that, oh, if they guess me, if they think I'm a murderer and they guess me, I still die with them because they guess wrong, and just the murderer gets free. I was thinking like, oh, the person who you put against, they still get to live too. But I say, nah. So you really have to get people not to blame you if they think you did it. But I also like the clues you get to use during trial. Like it kind of reminds me of like the Phoenix Wright. But it's different because it's like almost like a mini game, and which it's okay. I get it, but a lot of times I make mistake. It's not because I got the wrong answers. It's because I didn't hit the button fast enough, or I missed the button. That's really what it is. Because it's really the mini game part. I get it wrong because like, hey, I know I'm supposed to refute this statement right here. But when I shot it, I missed it, and I have to wait. I have to do it again. That's really where all my stakes came from. But other than that, I do like how there was a lot of twists. There was a lot of twists in this game, like things I did not expect. Like the game didn't go the way I thought it was. So I'll give it that. Now the ending was a little iffy. But I'm curious what's really happening out in the world because you don't really get an answer even at the end. Sorry for spoilers if anybody want to play it, but there is a 2 and 3, and I don't know if I'm going to play them. Though I heard they're okay, but I think this still was the best one. I think this was the best one out of those 3. I want to say, but they also added another game mode called School Mode, which is you play the game again, but it's a little different. It's more like a strategy game now, and it's not really about you dying. I think you die if you don't complete the task at the end. You got 50 days to complete a task where you have to build another bear robot. Like the bear said he needs some copies of himself, and he gives you the plans to make it, and you have to find those items. So what you do is that you got your whole classmates, you set a task on what they want to do, what you want them to do. Like, do you want them to collect items in this classroom? You want them to collect items in this classroom? Like, you pick which classrooms you want all of them to go in. It could be more than one in one classroom. Like, maybe you don't need items out that one. You want to just put everybody here to find some stuff. Or you need to also clean up. Like, you have to be clean, and because you get points taken off if you don't have a person like cleaning up after people. So you got to set some people off to cleaning, and also you have to rest because like some people get exhausted. So you have to rest them. So it's like a little strategy game like that. Like I could definitely see this pretty good for a handheld type of game. Like I can see, oh yeah, this is something cool to pick up. Like I've been playing it for a while, but it gets a little boring because I'm like, I'm just kind of doing the same thing over. I see the appeal of it. But it's probably just because I just played this whole game already, and like I'm probably just over it. But I'm just going to finish this up because I only have about a few more days left and see what just happens at the end of it. But you also have sequences where you can like have relationships with people. Like it's not just about love. I don't know what it is, honestly. I know during the main game, you try to be friends with people because you get skills. Like you get special skills you can use during the trial. And this, I don't know what it's for, honestly. I think it's just part of the game. And I don't know if it's anything like relationship as in like trying to be just a friendly relationship or a love relationship, because you can do it men and women. But I think, because they make the dude, like you said, homosexual. So I'm sure it's not, you can't be gay in here or anything. So I'm guessing it's not that. I guess it's just all about friendship with everybody and anything. So if you're into that relationship stuff, it's pretty good. But I mean, some of the conversations be funny. So that's why it's kind of worth doing. But you can never do everybody in one playthrough though. Because some people said you probably do 3 playthroughs, you try and get all the trophies or something like that. Trophies. Well, because this was a PlayStation game. Well, I guess for me it'll be achievements. Which I know I'm not going to be doing. I say I'm not going to do it. Now I see a cheat where I can stop the days. Like I can set it to a day and just keep it there, and I can get everything. I might do that. If I feel like it. But I just picking people who I just find interesting, like some of the characters. Like one of the girls, actually a couple of girls. I like this one girl named, I think her name's Sakura. She looks like a man. Like she's built big and strong, like she can fight, but she wears this like school uniform, but she's like busting out the freaking uniform because of her muscles and something like that. So I just talked to her and say, oh, she looks interesting. Let me just talk to her. And then this one she acts like she has no emotions, but she says she does. She just hides them. I talked to her, and there's another girl, and then the dude, this guy, he's always like a model student guy. He's funny, so I like talking to him. And there's one character I do want to talk to, actually, but I don't want to spoil it because there's a big spoiler about what this character is, so I don't want to say it. Because you're like in the main story, man, it comes like something that was shocked. But yeah, I mean, actually, all the characters have something somewhat interesting to them. Well, not all of them. I think most of them do. There's a few that's just like, I don't really care. But I heard some things about this game, but I never really paid attention, honestly. I never really paid attention when people talked about it that much. Until I finally just read about it, honestly, and I was like, oh, that's what this game is fucking about? And then I saw like a little bit of the anime, and I was like, okay, I'll give this game a try. And yeah, it's actually all right. All right, so darn, man, I'm thinking I'm about to be done, and I forgot I ain't talk about the Oculus games. All right, so I've been playing a lot of Oculus games, of course. So I don't get the ones I already been played before out the way. I play some more Space Pirates. I play some more Robo Recall. I'm still enjoying those games. Space Pirates, what's it called? Space Pirate Simulator?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That game, I didn't even realize you could change the like the ammo. I accidentally hit the button and I was like, how am I shooting a laser? I thought I hit a power up. So I was like, oh, it must be one of the power ups or something. But I didn't realize, like, oh shit. And then I finally looked over again at the side where it shows you the tutorial stuff. I was like, oh shit, you can just change ammo. I said, I didn't even look that far. I said, god damn. And then I didn't realize about the turret, that you could turn the turret to help you and shit. And I was like, oh my goodness. Even though that's fucking hard to do because I'm still trying to dodge at the same time. I'm trying to use the turret to help me. But yeah, I like playing that game. It's a workout. It can be a workout. Also, I played I finished Vader Immortal Episode 1. I finished the first one. It was a nice, like, lightsaber stuff happen at the end. And watching Vader fight, too, it was like, oh, man, that was pretty awesome. Also played a game called Virtual Reality 2. That's on the Oculus now. I never played this game before. It's supposed to be like you're a person in the metaverse, basically. And, like, I guess that's what's called virtual reality because that's what it is. Like, you're in their own, like, metaverse. And there's something goes wrong. Like, the metaverse is getting deleted and something. And then now I got to control this giant robot or something. And it's hard to control that thing. Like, it's hard as shit. It's weird because it's not you just walking. Like, you have to move your arms one by one. Then you have to do jumps. And I think I stopped right there because I was getting tired. I was like, oh, God. I said, yeah, I have to come back to this game. But, I mean, it was pretty funny. It's pretty funny and everything. But the controls are, I got to see about that game. Also, I played Gorn on the Oculus. It's on the Oculus too. Also, I know you have it on the Steam. And Gorn, yeah, that's a fun game. I like that. It's where you basically get in a ring and like you gotta fight these guys. Right? Yeah. Gladiators / Vikings really is something like along those lines. And you have to fight you fight men and everything and something like that. Like they have weapons and they walk funny and even you walk funny unless you change the controls. You can change the controls and just use the joysticks, or you can make it so that you have to press A and move your arm forward and back, almost like you're rowing, rowing forward or something like that. And I did it like that just to say, like, well, that's how I guess they want me to play the game. Let me just play like that. And I guess because how the men walk, I think it would be pretty easy if I did use the joysticks. Because I'm like, if I use a joystick and just move to them and bit him. That's easy as shit. So maybe, I'm gonna play it like this way for at least be somewhat challenging. So yeah, I also like how you can pick up their weapons. You can block with the shield, and it's fun. I mean, it's a fun game, and I like the physics of it. The physics it's like crazy physics. It's not really realistic. It's realistic, really, but it's like really funny and gibbly and something like that. What else have I played? Okay, I played another Star Wars game. I forgot what it was called though. I meant to look it up, but I totally forgot. Tales from Galaxy's Edge. There it is.
Oh, okay.
This Star Wars game is where, well, I guess the first story I played, I guess it's more than one. I'm not sure how this works, but I was just a person working on this freighter or something, and you just start out just walking around your ship and then scanning, like doing freighter work and stuff like that, like basically showing you the controls. That's basically their way of having a tutorial. It looks nice, like you own your whole ship and everything, kind of like just the Vader game. But this is a whole bigger ship, a lot bigger ship. And I'm just like walking around and everything around the ship. It looks nice. Then it gets to a point where your ship's getting taken over by some syndicate or whatever, and then their bots come on and you just have to shoot them. You get a gun and then you shoot them. Then I picked up their gun, which was better, and that's how I shoot them. I mean, it seemed fun. It seemed really fun. I think the scores weren't that great for this game, though.
Really?
I mean, not high. They weren't really high. I'm trying to see what it is.
I think it's related to the ride at the Disney park, the Galaxy's Edge ride there.
Okay.
Not entirely sure how, but I think it is.
But I mean, it's not. I mean, they're good. I mean, I think there's just good reviews. Not
gotcha.
Like, I didn't hear anything like a Vader Immortal or something like that. But so far, what I played has been all right. I've got to a point where I'm in the cantina now, and I don't know where I'm going to be doing after this. Like, I just stopped at the story at this point. But I'm guessing I'm going after the guys who mess up my ship and everything. But it's cool being in that environment, seeing these aliens walk around me and stuff. I went over to play on the drums, these whatever Star Wars drum thing, whatever, and I was playing around on that thing. And it looks so weird because like you're seeing these aliens like normal size, and it's like, man, I would be scared shitless because they look so weird. Like, oh my god, you have 1,000 eyes and you're just taller than me. And then even the little one, even the like little midget one, that's kind of just talking to you. I'm like, oh god, you look so weird. I just want to kick you. And it's like, just kick you out of here. And one of those little what they called, I don't know what they called, the things that Chewbacca was going to eat in that episode, the newest episode.
The porgs?
Yeah, it jumped out of something I was trying to fix. It scared the shit out of me. But it's cute. I mean, it's a cool game. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like what I played so far. I like the experience. Okay, what else have I played? I also played some more Fallout 4. If I stay near my computer, it plays well. If I go downstairs, but actually, it's a little stuttery if I'm downstairs playing it.
Okay.
But I can play
through like the desktop mode or whatever. It works better when you're doing it. Are you wirelessly doing it? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's just that it's just better if I'm closer to my router in my computer. Which is like, my router's right next to my computer. So it runs better that way, and it looks okay. I mean, it looks great. I mean, I think that's just the way the game is, honestly, because it's one of the early VRs, and they didn't like put everything into this, to do this because it wasn't made for VR. So, but it's a cool experience. I just kind of figure out how to put my mods in here to make it a little bit better experience. Yeah. But I mean, I do like it. It looks. I mean, it's cool just being in that world, and just like I seen a death claw face up. It was scary as shit. And I was gonna
say no, thank you.
And I was in that armor. I got to that armor part when I had to be in the armor. Cool. That was cool, like walking around the armor and fighting things. That was neat. It's really neat. Being in that world. Yeah. And did I say everything? I got one more thing to say. I'm trying to wait till that to be the last one. Yeah, I guess. Oh, Moss. I forgot to mention that a few weeks ago. I did play Boss. Boss, man, yeah, I was surprised how much I liked the game because I really didn't know what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, like, what is Boss? Like I know it's a platformer, but is it just like a platformer and you just can turn your head around? But I like that little storybook element that they have for it, and like how you're kind of in the environment and you still control the mouse, but you're also helping it. Like you have to move things to certain places where it can climb and go around. Yeah, like it's very cute. It's very cute, and it's very neat how they did this game. Like I want more games like that to play. Is that how Lucky's Tale is?
Lucky's Tale was more like what you were saying, as far as just like, oh, you're kind of in this world and you're looking down on them a little bit. Like it's kind of diorama-ish, but it's not stylized really too much in that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but Moss, that is a good game. I see why people liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And last but not least, I played Lone Echo.
Nice.
Lone Echo 2 got a reward or something. And I was like, let me try this Lone Echo game out. So I think I heard about this game before. And that's only on the PC, so I had to get on PC and use use the AirPlay. I say AirPlay, isn't that Apple? What's it called for the Oculus?
Oculus. Well, I don't know about the wireless stuff.
Yeah,
Oculus
I think it's
Link
called Air.
with the
I think it's
cable.
still called Air something though.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I had to use that to connect to the PC. So I'm playing. So the game is on the PC. It's just wirelessly going to my Oculus. So the game, you play as this robot, and you're on this space station. It looks like, and you have this woman, and you're working with her, like you're her helper bot, but you're like an AI because you could. I didn't even realize you could change bodies till really like I've been playing the game for like maybe 2 hours or so. I've been playing the game for 2 hours, but that doesn't mean I've been 2 hours into the story. I've been playing around in the world. But yeah, so I'm saying like, oh, so your AI just kind of moves to a different body. That's what happens. If your body messes up, you just move to another, you just transfer. So I say, okay, so you don't really die necessarily. And you're this AI bot who helps her out. And like, you're in the environment like space. So you're kind of floating around like in a space station, and you got to maneuver yourself certain ways. And it's just so interactive, and it feels so real. Like the way you have to grab on stuff, the way you push off, and how like it pushes you a certain way because of how there's no gravity. So you got these little jets on your hand to help maneuver you through there too. Also, like, it's not nothing. Now, I haven't got to anything where I had to shoot or anything. Everything seemed mostly me just working around the ship and doing certain tasks. But just interacting with those tasks is so cool. It feels like, man, like I'm really on this space station and like things are happening, and then like floating around and everything. And like had to go in some place where it's like a whole lot of radiation. I had to hurry up and change some cores or something. And then you can't go somewhere where you can heal yourself so you can stay undamaged for a little bit of time, but you still have to hurry up. Then then you got like a scanner with to scan things to know what they are, and then you have a tool where you can like a laser tool to get through panels and then to fix stuff inside. It's very interactive. Like, I think I'm getting more into the story though, because now I'm about to go outside the ship because something happened and it caused our ship to lose a lot of power. Then we had to fix all that stuff up, everything that got messed up. And now I told her that I can go out the side of the ship to check on what this anomaly was and everything. She didn't want me to do it, but I was like, hey, I was made for this. I'm a robot. So I didn't want to do it. I didn't really want to do it. I would say, you go ahead and do it. I'll stay back here. But anyway, now I'm about to go to the ship. That's where I stopped at because my battery was going low. But yeah, that game, man, that's probably so far the best game I played in VR. That might be my favorite one so far. Nice. Is that game, just because of how like real it feels and everything. Mm-hmm. I did try to grab her ass, and I think she reacted. I don't think she reacted because I grabbed her ass. Just said I grabbed her. She said, "Hey, watch it." I said, yep, she gonna put sexual harassment on me. She gonna put sexual harassment on the robot. Gonna be decommissioned. I say this robot got rapey hands. Okay, sorry. No, I actually I wasn't trying to grab her ass. I was just grabbing her because I wanted to see what happened. I was like, well, if I do happen, I do grab her. At first, she wasn't interacting. I don't know if it was because it was a glitch or something, like it didn't recognize me as touching her. But then one time she did say like, hey, watch it or something like that. But sometimes she get like close on me and I'm like, yo, tell me to move, man. God damn it. It's like, because I can't see what the hell's going on. Now, the only problem I really have is that when I'm trying to talk, because like you have to click a button when you talk or to interact with something when I mean by interact, like a speech thing comes up. But sometimes it goes away too fast. Like I don't know how I'm supposed to align myself so I can stay, so I can hurry hit the button to say my statement. Because you get to choose what you want to say, and you do talk. Like you're not just one of those voiceless protagonists. Like the robot does talk, like you. But thing is like I see something and said, oh, you can press this to talk to I forgot her name about it, but then it'll disappear because I'm like, oh, you're not aligned with it yet, and then I have to try to align myself to it. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what? I don't know. Maybe it's better in the second game. Maybe they fixed that. Yeah. But like in this one, it seems like it gets a little frustrating. Because if you don't talk, and some things, like if you don't, well, if you talk about an object, it's always going to be there. But if she's just talking to you out the blue, it's a time limit to pick. Now that I don't really have a problem with, because all you do is hit the button. But the only thing is like if I have something in my hand, and then it's like, oh, can I still push this with the thing in my hand? Sometimes I can or can't, and then I gotta get it. It gets a little iffy. But as I keep playing, it becomes better to handle. Like, and now like, I'm getting a better handle on some of these games. I'm not really feeling like, oh man, I don't know what to do or anything. But see, some of these shooting games, like what is it, Robo Recall, the Space Pirate Simulator, I think even the Star Wars one. I'm thinking Star Wars one, well, it's a laser gun, so all you have to do is just vent it. So you get up there and vent it, but it feels easy. I wish Battle Sisters felt that way. I wish definitely Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor feel like the worst. I wish that felt like that, because maybe, I'm just thinking, I'm going to try Battle Sisters again. Maybe, since I've been playing with VR a lot more, maybe it'll be easier for me to do that. But I just don't like loading up the clip. I mean, even if I can do it, I don't like having to go through all that. I feel like, at the most, load up the clip. That's it. And then everything else is just good to go. Just let me do that. Or still, just be like a light gun shooter. You go to the side, you load it up, and put it up. Just make it like an easy, like, there should be like a mode, like, hey, like more individualistic mode or just light gun mode or something. All right, so that's all I played. I mean, that's a lot. So I guess we'll take a break, and when we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. And then we're flashbacking to still February, because we missed the week of February because of Daniel's little trip to Cabo. So we're going to start with the last week of February, and here's what we got. Azura's Wrath.
Yeah.
This game was talked about a lot for a game that got pretty much mixed, but still good overall. I mean, 71 out of 100 on both Xbox 360 and PS3.
I feel like it still comes up a surprising amount.
I actually,
because of how crazy it is,
want to play this game. I played the demo.
Yeah.
And I was like,
me too.
I wouldn't mind just going through the game like this, because how crazy it is, and just be finished with it. But I didn't want to buy it. But so unfortunately, I just never got it, and it never came on PC. So I could have got like a super cheap Steam, thing. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Destroy, like, they gave it a 5 out of 10 on 360. I mean, they didn't review the PS3 because it was the same game. So I'm assuming, because a lot of these things don't have both. Edge gave it a 5 out of 10, so they didn't like it. Destroy and Edge did not like this game. Famitsu, though, they gave it a 38 out of 40 on the PS3, but a 34 out of 40 on the 360. Why is that, Daniel? Why did that lose 4 points?
America.
Okay. Game Informer gave it an 8.5. GameSpot didn't like it. 5.5.
Yeah.
IGN did like it. They gave it a 7.5. PlayStation Magazine gave it a 7 out of 10. And Metro, I guess the subway station gave it a 7 out of 10. All right, so the Azura's Wrath, because I remember for the demo, it was mostly kind of like a button, like QuickTime event stuff.
Yeah,
was
exactly.
that basically the whole game, or was there more action to it?
I believe so. I think it was mostly focused around like timed button presses.
Yeah, because I think it's like the visuals, really was like just like very anime-ish, battles and stuff like that. I kind of look at, I probably watch that game on YouTube or something.
Growing like 6 arms and then
because I never just spoiled it for myself. Like I only seen the demo, and I always kept saying like one day I'll get it, and like when it's really cheap, and I just never did. I never did get it.
Yeah.
All right. So what else we got? We got cliff diving on PS Vita. I guess you just dive off cliffs and hope you live. I can't even click on this game. Like, don't even get it. They didn't even click on it. It might not be a real game then. All right. So Better Gear Solid Snake Eater 3D came on 3DS. So you can play Snake Eater in 3D, man.
Yeah. Well, it was still only a single analog stick.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
All right, so what else you have here? You got Syndicate. Oh yeah, Syndicate. I remember this game.
Yeah.
This was Electronic Arts. For some reason, I kept thinking Bethesda. Some reason, but Starbreeze Studios, which doesn't exist anymore, I believe.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
Yeah,
because they're the ones that did the Riddick games.
Riddick games,
right?
yes, yeah. So you had there was a cyberpunk kind of first-person shooter. It was Electronic Arts. They were putting out new properties. They were doing. They tried. They tried, Daniel.
Yeah,
but we failed them. That's why they are.
We did.
Where they are
just
now.
Didn't buy it.
I mean, it got. Oh, it's like it was an okay game. It was like a good game. I mean, it got like a 74. I think a 69 on PC. Of course, it's got lowered there. 75, 74 on PS3 and Xbox 360. Game Trailers gave it an 8.2. That was the highest score I see up here. Actually, technically, Brian Baum gave it a high score. 5 stars.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, I
know Jeff Gersman was very high on that game.
Also, Rosario Dawson, she talked for one of the protagonists in the game.
Oh, really?
Lily Joel and Brian Cox, who looks like Bill Murray in this photo. I was about to say Bill Murray. Talk for a character. Brian Cox, what is he? I guess he's a Royal Shakespeare Company. Okay, like he must be a theater man. He's a theater man. He was in Braveheart. Yeah. So basically a theater man, basically. He's in those kind of buildings. He was in Manhunter. Oh, Manhunter. I remember that. That's a 1986 movie. Hannibal Lecter. Yeah, he's played. Yeah, was he Hannibal Lecter? Yep, he was Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Good for him.
All right. So, Syndicate, yeah, I've never played. Was there a demo for this game?
I think there was, but it was like a multiplayer only one.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was. I mean, you know what? It seemed like a game I probably like. Is that on EA Play? I feel like it'd be one of those games that would be up there because I see some obscure games up there that I totally forgot about. Tales from Space, Mutant Blobs Attack came on the Vita, but wasn't it on other systems too? Yeah. Well, shit, it's still coming out. It's only on Nintendo Switch. That's where it
came out initially. Yeah.
Okay.
That was.
So this is the first release of it. Okay. Yeah. This is the first release. It is
it's probably one of the best games on the Vita.
Oh, really? Side-scrolling platform game.
Yeah.
Where you play as a blob, I'm assuming, and you hug people. You hug people and say you love them.
Hug people to death.
That's what you do? You just kill people?
I don't remember how many people were in there, but it was definitely like kind of Katamari-ish. You were picking up items and making yourself bigger and absorbing things and stuff like that. That's a game. You said it's on the Switch now. I'd kind of like to revisit that game because I like that a lot.
Yeah, it came on the Switch 2019.
Gotcha.
All right. So what we have here, we have a WWE WrestleFest on iOS.
I have no idea what that one is.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, it looks like just like a Super Nintendo-esque
Oh, it really is.
beat 'em up. That's cool, I guess.
I mean, that's a cool looking game. I actually wish it was on like a real console.
Exactly.
All right, Zuma's Revenge. I've seen this so many times.
Yeah.
Basically,
Like
I
shoot a
don't know
ball
what
in
it
the
is.
thing.
I know it's a puzzle.
I think you have like this trail of beads, and then you're like shooting like colored beads into the puzzle.
Oh, this is definitely a pop
make
cap
a
game.
match.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of like that.
All right, so what we got here? What's 1,000 amps? What the hell? I'm guessing this has something to do with guitar, right? Or
I was thinking electricity.
oh,
Apparently, it's a 2012 action adventure platform puzzle game, and there's a power outage in the amp tree system. Plug must navigate the darkness and repair the lights one room at a time.
PC Gamer 64 out of 100. Rock, paper, scissors don't do scores, but they said, I really want you to play this. It's such a smart, enormous game, often enormously difficult, but get stuck, and there are always another dozen rooms you can try. Okay.
So many rooms.
Never heard of this, but there you go.
Nope.
It is made by, it looks like this is a guy's name. Brandon Brizzy, publisher Brandon. I'm going to guess that's just him. He's just a developer. He's the one guy.
Good job, Brandon.
Yeah. All right. You got Alan Wake's American Nightmare came out
Oh, man.
10 years ago on the Xbox Live Arcade. You can talk about this. I never played it.
I'd never played more than the demo of it. It ended up being like action-y, and I don't know why I didn't go for it, but I just didn't necessarily feel like the Alan Wake I was looking for at the time, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
He said, I want the author back.
I want the writer. Yes, I want the stories.
All right. So what we got here? Army Corps of Hell came on PS Vita. Never heard of this game.
Fighting Satan or something, probably.
Yeah. There's a guy Spawn in here or something. I don't know what that
guy on the cover kind of looks like
Spawn. Say, what's that guy up top? What's the thing up top over the title?
It's a little gremlin guy.
Oh.
Popping out of the guy's head, I guess. I don't know. Published by Square Enix, though.
Yeah. You got Ben 10 Galactic Racing for the Vita. You got a lot of Vita's games because the Vita just came out, basically. And you got Dylan's Rolling Western on 3DS.
I'm not familiar
some of
with
these
that
games, I don't understand. Like, some games they miss on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Like, I see that.
Oh, no, I remember that guy, because that one was published by Nintendo, which is probably why he's on there.
Oh, okay.
It's the, like, armadillo. He had another game. I can't remember. He's kind of a
It's
thing.
a tower defense game? That's what this is?
I think so. What this one is. Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I was trying to see what the other game was, but I can't find it.
There was Dylan's Dead Heat Breakers.
Is Dylan the creator or actually the armadillo's
I
name?
think Dylan is the armadillo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, armadillo, Dylan. And that is also tower defense. Yeah.
All right, so we got Dungeon Hunter Alliance for the Vita. We got Dragon Warriors Next for the Vita.
Dynasty Warriors?
Did I say Dragon Warrior or
Dragon
Dungeon
Warrior?
Warrior?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dragon Warrior.
Dynasty Warriors Next for the Vita. That's actually better. That's better than Dragon Warrior. Actually, Dragon Warrior is Dragon
That's why I was
Quest.
surprised.
So yeah, whatever. Skate Plan for the PS Vita before Escape Room.
Relatively well received.
What is Escape Plan? Is it? Oh, okay. I'm looking at it now.
Inside looking thing.
Yeah,
is a side-scrolling
it's like
action
black and
platformer.
white. I'm seeing here. It's like it has that that kind of look, almost Tim Burton-ish thing. All right,
noir.
What else you have? Tim Burton is noir, man. I mean, look at that guy. Hot Shots Golf World Invitational.
Yeah.
PS Vita. FIFA Football for the Vita, Hustle Kings for the Vita, Luminous Electronic Symphony for the Vita.
Man, people love that game.
Yeah, I mean, people love the Luminous games. Mod Nation Racers Road Trip for Vita. Was this better than the PlayStation? That being
bad. No.
Oh, so that was bad?
I remember it, yeah.
Too?
Bad load times.
Mod Nation Racers was a game that I really wanted to be good. Because it just felt like, oh, yeah, I get all these modded, like people's online modded tracks and stuff. It's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Then I played some, and the load times were horrible, and I couldn't get in the game. And by the time I got the game, I didn't really care no more. All right. Ninja Gaiden Sigma Plus for the Vita.
Yeah.
Plants vs. Zombies on the PS Vita. That's when that game is coming on everything. Yeah. There's got to be Plants vs. Zombies 1 on the Switch, right? Because it's not going to be 2.
I don't know if it ever came out on the Switch.
Damn. So they bought out the Garden Warfare, but not that.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, you get money from that one. What is this? Shinobi? No, Shinon. What is this? Shinobito 2?
Yeah.
Shinobito 2?
Yeah.
Revenge of Zen? Don't mess with that Zen, man.
Shinobito.
You have Super Stardust Delta on the Vita. God damn, man. Touch Katamari on the Vita.
Yeah.
You got Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on the Vita.
Mm-hmm.
You got Virtual Tennis 4 World Tour on the Vita. Hey, Vita had a lot of games at launch.
Yes, it did.
Wipeout 2048.
Some of them are even good.
Yeah. Wipeout 2048 on the Vita.
There's one of them.
So yeah, they had quite a few games, and then I think maybe it went quiet. That's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, it went quiet fairly quickly. I'm surprised. Maybe we talked about. I think we talked about it last time we recorded, like the Uncharted game and some of those big names that also came out at launch. But because remember, like last time we recorded, they had like the pre-launch stuff, and yeah,
we talked about those games because you said that they had a launch.
Yeah, they had like the Founders Edition or whatever that came out initially. Yeah.
So yeah, happy wedding anniversary to the Vita, man. The system, a great system that just never got a hold of.
Yes, great place to play emulators.
Because I boycotted it. All right. So I mean, I was waiting to see because I was like, I saw what you did with the PSP. I was kind of on that thing, so I'm just gonna wait and see. All right. What we have here, Deep Black Reloaded. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm skipping to March and I still got a few more games. All right, here we go. SSX is back, Daniel.
Yeah.
SSX on the PS3 and Xbox 360.
The reimagining. The darker, grittier SSX. Where you had to, like, collect air.
I didn't get that far to even know what the hell you do in that game, Daniel. I mean, I played the first level you played and just saw like, well, this ain't colorful and fun and shit like the one I played, so I do not care. I mean, it didn't get horrible reviews though, did it? I think it's
not horrible. I think it was like 7s and stuff.
Actually got good, man. Got 82 on Metacritic.
Oh wow.
And 81 on PS3.
Just didn't give it a chance, though. My goodness.
Eurogamer gave it a 9 out of 10. What the hell? G4 gave it a 4.5 out of 5. That's why they're gone now.
But they're back now, though.
Yeah, that's right. Time to give it. GameSpot gave it an 8.5 out of 10. IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. Okay, EA paid these people. They paid everybody. Like the lowest score is Edge. They didn't pay Edge. Edge said, no, we have integrity. They gave it a 5 out of 10. So that's why he's even got that lowest score. I mean, at low 80s. It would be actually higher because of Edge magazine. I don't see Game Informer though. I don't know what they gave it. I don't think they gave it too high a score though. Maybe at the most a 8. Okay, Microsoft Flight. So it's not Flight Simulator.
It's the more arcadey one. It's like, nah, we're not going to simulate this anymore. We're just gonna fly.
I don't know what kind of plane I'm looking at here on this cover. but it's made by Microsoft Game Studios Vancouver. All right, where are we at? I don't even know what the hell this is. Nexiz with the Z. Came on Xbox Live Arcade.
I feel like I remember this game like it was a online shooter or something like that.
Okay.
It came and went pretty quickly, I feel like.
Prince of Persia Classic came on iOS. And
those old Prince Persia games are not good.
Wakfu. Why aren't they good, Daniel?
Because they're so stiff. Like, you run up to the edge of the platform, and then you stand there, and then you press the jump button. Because if you press the jump button while you're still running, Dominic, you don't jump. So you just fall into the pit, and you get speared, and you die. That's why.
Wakfu is a tactical MMORPG, turn-based RPG. I never heard of this. Is it still around? Is it still on? This is an animated television series based on the game began airing in France from October 30th, 2008. Wait a minute. But the game, I bet it's been another game. Maybe it's a board game or something first. Because it doesn't make sense with this game, because this game just came out in 2012. Whatever. So let me see. I don't see much about this game. They don't want to tell me if it's still around or not up here. This Wikipedia page sucks. All right, it was a thing, people. That it happened, and I don't know what's happening with it now. All right, so now we're done with February. So now we're in a new month. Because we got a lot of games to say, I'm not going to do covers. I'm just going to do the games that came out for the week. So here we go. We got Deep Black Reloaded for Windows. I don't know what this game is. I'm assuming it's a shooter. Am I right? It looks...
It's from a Russian studio, Dominic.
We can't talk about this game. This game does not exist. All right, so... The Simpsons Tap Out. I see a lot of people play this game.
Did you ever play it?
Nope, because, I did play it. I played it until I got to a point where they asked me for money.
Okay, I thought you had touched it a little bit at least.
Yeah, I touched it a little bit, because I saw somebody playing it on one of their phones, and I was jealous because I didn't have a phone that can play a game like that. So then when I finally got a phone that can play that game, it's like, yes, I can finally play Simpsons Tap Out. I say, it's free. I really thought you had to buy it. So I was like, it's free. It's free to play. And then I saw, okay. Then I saw, this is why.
Then you realized you wish you just had to buy it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's one of those, free to play games that really just gets money out of you. And EA did it.
Yeah.
It's probably, I want to know if it's still going on today. Do they ever shut these things down?
I feel like they have to, right?
It says, according to their own estimates, EA has generated over $130 million in revenue since the game's release as of 2014.
They definitely still
as of 20
the website.
Yeah, this is as of 2020. The game has received 80 billion downloads and grossed $200 million. For some reason, I feel like that's a small number. But maybe but for that type of game, how long it probably took to make it, that's a big number. But
they've got like 4.25 stars on the Google Play Store with 670,171 reviews.
Yeah, that's just
all
that
those
many
people gave that game money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yet the first 3 reviews I see are 2, 1, and 1.
All the other people are EA employees. Once you sign that contract to EA, they said you gotta put 5-star reviews for all our games when you come to the company under that alias. All right. So what we got here? I wouldn't be surprised, Daniel, if that is a story of a company. Because out of the weirdest stories I hear from these companies, that doesn't feel that weird.
No.
Not
at all.
All right. Vessel came out on Windows. For some reason, I feel like I've seen this before. And I clicked the wrong thing. I clicked Windows. So now I'm looking at the Microsoft Windows Wikipedia because I was really looking.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. I'm not familiar with this one.
like I've seen I think in either Steam or some. Cause I've seen this name. That's where I saw it. PlayStation.
Okay.
PlayStation. I've seen this game. I like it in the PlayStation Store. That's why I've seen the name before. All right. But I almost feel like this was a free game. I played this game. Yes, this was a free game on the PS3.
Oh, okay.
I mean, at a point, and it was a free initially, but I think it was part of the PlayStation Plus something when they were running early free games. Because I know I damn sure didn't buy this game. It was kind of cool. Yeah, it was kind of steampunky, but you kind of moved the water like to take out like these enemy fireballs and stuff. I think the fireballs walk. They were like something to that. I haven't played it so fucking long.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, it's really physics based puzzle game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I got 81 out of 100 on Metacritic. Yeah, I mean, I like what I played of it. I didn't play a lot, but what I played of it was all right. All right, so what else we got? We got the Blades of Time on the PS3 and Xbox. And look at this sexy lady holding these blades, Daniel. Yowzers.
Yeah. So this is the one that came after like that X-Blades game where she was like a younger, more anime-looking woman with the blades. And then this is like the sexed up one, I feel like. Even though that one was plenty sexed up. Because like I'm looking at the cover of that first game and the European cover art is like her back to the camera. And she has like assless chaps or something on.
Really?
Yeah. It's weird.
She'll look good, but she's killing.
I don't think the American one came out looking like that. But that's what...
And from these reviews, this game closer to her dimensions than a really good score. It's like, god damn, it's hard. But the best review, guess what, is the PC? I guess because of the graphics. That's probably what it is. They got a 63 on a PC. Everything else is low, like 52, 53, 38 on the NS. Nintendo Switch.
Sure.
What? It says Nintendo Switch May 14th, 2019.
Did that really come out on Nintendo Switch too? Did they really bring that back?
Which cover did they give it? Did they give it that one, the Ashes Chat one? Or she probably wore a thong, right?
Oh my god. They will put anything on the Switch. Like,
yes, well, go ahead, people. Get it for Nintendo Switch.
No, that's the old one. I'm guessing. I can't see. Like, the picture's so low resolution, I can't see. Can't believe they released this game on the Switch. Somebody put work in to release that game, Dominic.
Konami. What other games are going to put out
there?
there?
I got shit else to do.
Crush came out for the 3DS. And it's a puzzle game. It came out initially for the PSP, I want to say. Yeah. I could have sworn I saw this dude with headphones before. Dude, God, look at him. He looks horrible. But the game got a worse score than 3DS. PSP got an 83 out of 100.
Checks out.
All right. So where we at here, Daniel? God damn, we are still on 10 years ago. What the fuck, man? Why are these games coming out in March? All right.
End of the quarter.
Harry Potter years 5 through 7. Yes. We are there, baby. We are there. Yep. It's over. It's on the Vita. The Vita people can finally play this and end the series. Until I don't think they did one. Nope, they didn't do one for what's it called? Beautiful Creatures? What's that shit called?
Fantastic Beasts.
Fantastic Beasts. Oh yeah. There was a movie called Beautiful Creatures though, right?
Yes.
That was that.
Completely
that
unrelated.
was like a Twilight-ish kind of movie.
This is a what movie?
A Twilight-ish.
I think so. Excuse me. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it was like a love,
like Beauty and the Beast kind of thing, I think.
Yeah. All right. Major League Baseball 2K12, when 2K was still doing baseball games. Yep. Came out on everything. Actually, I don't see a Vita version.
That'll probably come, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. Or maybe this is it.
Or they just got pushed out by the show.
We're done after this year. I don't know when they stopped. I don't know. This was the last year or what? Okay, I'll wait for this one. I'll wait for that one too as well. MLB 12, the show came out for the PS3 and PS Vita. So they got the better one anyway. MotorStorm RC came out for PS3. PS Vita.
It was like a top-down kind of racer with the stick you used to accelerate. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Okay. That's good. How about Nicktoons MLB 3D?
That I got no thoughts on.
No. You have SpongeBob playing with your favorite blah, blah, blah. I can't even say favorite Major League stars. Is that Jason Giambi? Is this post no, it's not Jason Giambi. Okay. I say it's post steroids. I don't care about him. I want to say that's I forgot his name for Detroit and he just retired. Damn it. I keep wanting to say Pudge Rodriguez, but that's not fucking him. It's Miguel Cabrera. Oh, good God. Miguel Cabrera, yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Great.
Jason Hayward.
Yeah, he's gonna be banned with SpongeBob. Who's pitching? Who's pitching? The cat dog. All right. So what we have here, we got The Sims 3 Showtime. Sims 4 still hasn't come out yet. Stacking.
Yeah, that was the Windows. Double Fine one.
Yes, it came on.
I was gonna say, I think we talked about
Xbox
the
first,
Xbox
right?
one or something earlier.
Yeah. Street Fighter Cross Tekken, Daniel, 10 years.
Yeah. Still no Tekken versus Street Fighter.
We are going to get Tekken, right?
No, we're never getting that.
No.
It's never happening, Dominic.
Oh, man, I played this game. It's a fighting game. I'm not a good judge on fighting games unless it's... Yeah, I don't like it better than Mortal Kombat, so there you go. Yeah. Top Gun Hard Lock came out.
Oh my.
This is what the movie's based on. Did that movie come out?
I don't think so. I don't think it's come out yet.
Damn. They're really waiting to see, like, we try to get all the bunnies.
They need to put that in theater, Dominic. Gotta have it in theaters.
When I click on Top Gun, it just gives me lists of Top Gun games. They wouldn't even get a whole Wikipedia page to this game. I'm going to say it wasn't good. Or if it was good, that's a shame, and they should have had a Wikipedia page.
May 27th, Dominic. Sorry. That's when that
May 27th this year?
Yep.
Oh, man. Darn, it should have came out, like 2 years ago?
Pretty much.
All right. Unit 13. I know the cover. I do not know this game. I've seen the cover like a million times.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was well received for the Vita at the time.
Is maybe a Zipper Interactive? Did they do SOCOM? Aren't they?
Yeah, they're the SOCOM guys.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Couldn't fit SOCOM on the Vita.
71. Like, what is it? Is it a shooter? Third person shooter?
I think it's a third person shooter. Yeah, it's kind of in the vein of.
Is it more realistic? So like SOCOM 2?
I don't know if it's more realistic. I don't remember what it was. I think it was more like urban survival stuff than like war stuff.
All right, so that is it for 2012. Good fucking God. And now we're finally going back to 20 years to 2002. And we got Jet Set Radio Future.
There you go.
The sequel to Jet Grind Radio on the Xbox. I was a little jelly.
Definitely.
I was a little jelly of this. I was like, why they get this game when the PlayStation is right there? Why the hell they do that? Because Xbox put that Microsoft money to them and said, we want this game. And the reviews for it were good. Got an 88 out of 100 on Metacritic.
Then I eventually played those games and went, oh no, I don't actually like these very much.
But you know what? I only read like one magazine back then, Daniel.
Yeah.
So I was actually happy with the score that the magazine I read gave it. Game Informer. They gave it a 7 out of 10. So I was like, oh, I missed out on shit. I ain't missing out on shit. It's only a 7 out of 10. I didn't even know it got these scores for these other magazines. And IGN, I never went there to read reviews because that's when IGN reviews pages would be like 10 pages long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, good God. I think there's mostly ads, but still, it's just that you had to go to page to page to page. I was like, man, a review's that long? The Game Informer page reviews don't seem like it's this long. It's like, all right, what we got here? Circus Maximus Chariot Wars.
Ooh.
And God, they have a goddamn Minotaur up here on a chariot. What the hell?
Sometimes you need that power to compete, Dominic.
That doesn't seem fair to have a Minotaur in the back of your chariot. This man just have a regular human. All right, so it's a Chariot Wars. It came out on both systems. Okay, based on this, it says it didn't come to... Okay, I don't understand this. This says February 24th on the Xbox. So actually... Oh, I am on February. I'm an idiot. I forgot. Because like, I'm going back to February 10 years ago because I still missed those weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'm good. But this is wrong because the PlayStation 2 version, it maybe did come out at the same time because the Xbox One came out. Okay, that's to say it came out on both. All right. So, and I don't know if people liked it. Let me see here. I'm on the wrong page here. Okay. Oh, no. 67 out of 100. Not many people.
Yeah, that's not great.
Didn't get it. I mean, you got Game Zone gave it a 7.5. And Game Revolution gave it a C. Those guys. So if you believe in those guys, then it's a decent game. All right. So Pac-Man World 2 came out for the PS2. You cannot have too many Pac-Man games. I can tell you that right now. You can't have too many.
I think we're already there.
We need more. All right. So where are we at here? Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2002 came out for PS2. Yeah, this is pre-Tiger of getting the car accident.
Yes.
Because of cheating on his wife.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
untouchable.
Yeah, he got car accident twice. Now I just thought about that. It's like, because I wasn't even thinking about the recent one.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Well, I immediately thought of the recent one, then I went, oh no, wait, he's talking about the old one.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, well, that one was as serious. Well, I guess if you want to look at it, all depends. It wasn't serious to his life.
Yeah.
But it was big because it changed a lot of things about him. But yeah, this is when we were all in love. I still thought he was black. It was a good times. All right, so anyway, Crash Bandicoot: The Huge Adventure on the Game Boy Advance. This is post-Crash, PlayStation exclusive guy. He's like, I'm everywhere now.
Yep.
Want everybody to love me, and they sort of did. They gave it a 78 out of 100 on Metacritic for this. Game Informer get 8.5. Yeah. Okay. I mean, some of those Crash games weren't bad. They just weren't like high praise like the older ones.
Right.
But they were okay. I mean, kids
they were
like
only highly praised because they were Sony exclusive.
That's probably true. That probably was true, Daniel.
Never as good as a Mario game, Dominic. Don't let people fool you.
All right, we got ESPN NBA Tonight 2002. ESPN got their own game here.
Mm-hmm.
Who made this game? Konami. Hideo Kojima made this game.
Sure.
You got what we have here. I can't even, don't have a cover on this Wikipedia site though. But this game got bad reviews, so don't play this. Hideo Kojima, it was too many cutscenes in these games. Like in between, like fucking halftime, they going on in monologue talking about stuff and love and war and shit. And it's like, come on, man. Let's just start the next quarter here. All right. Where we at here? We got All-Star Baseball 2003. And this was Acclaim. Goddamn, Acclaim was still a game studio and they made a baseball game. So, and who was on the front? Derek Jeter.
I was going to say Derek Jeter.
Which he was going to be in the front of a 2K game, I believe, that I had. He was on front of that one. All right. No, wait a minute. That's 05. They just took me to an All-Star Baseball page. This ain't a Pacific game.
I feel like it was probably still Derek Jeter.
So Eric G was just on all of them. That's what it was. Maybe
Let's see.
He was like the Randy Boss Iverson of the early 2Ks.
He was on 2002. He was on 3. He was on 4. He was on 5.
Okay. All right. So they just signed one guy and say, hey, we just give you this game. All right. So now we got Eve of Extinction, EOE for short. And it's an IDOS game, but it's made by Ukes.
So it's a wrestling game.
Yeah, I don't know them for. So, what is this game about?
Looks like it's a 3D
beat 'em up.
Yeah. So sort of a wrestling game.
It didn't get great reviews though. I got 57 out of 100 on Metacritic. I've seen this game like in magazines as advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
Never knew what it was though. I've never seen it. I'm about to look at it for the first time right now, people. You are here
to witness.
To me. Yeah, see, watching this on YouTube for the first time. I think they're not giving me the right game. Because I just put EOE. Oh, really? This is gonna start from the beginning? Come on, get to against gameplay. Okay, it's a 3D action game. Kind of. What was that other 3D game? I think it was by IDOS. Beat 'em up.
Not the bouncer.
Not the bouncer, no.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It might be on PlayStation. Like it wasn't on PS2, but
yeah.
You can pick up a sword and do stuff. Okay, this is a 3D, 3D
Thinking
game.
Of Fighting Force?
Yeah, I think I'm thinking of Fighting Force.
Man, I haven't thought about that game in a long time.
Well, I ain't think about it till just now.
Fighting Force.
So we got a few more games here on this list. We got ESPN Winter X Games Snowboarding 2002. Was released in the United States and Canada. Sony Interactive Entertainment was introduced. They introduced the PlayStation 2 for the first time in South Korea. They have finally got it, the South Koreans, and they just rubbed it in the North Koreans' face, and that's why the North Korea was threatening them all those.
That's the way it is now. Oh man,
yeah. Digimon Rumble Arena came out for the PlayStation. Just the PlayStation version came out. Digimon Digital Monsters. They are champions.
Digital Monsters.
Disney Stitch Experiment 626. This is supposed to be like a prequel, right? Where Stitch, before he gets to Earth, I remember reading about the description about this game. Because that's what I just used to read everything. When I get a magazine, I read everything. Even I had no interest of that game whatsoever. I just read it.
Yeah.
I never did like that movie. No? I watched it like 4 times though. Cause I don't know why. It was a reason why. I think maybe it was just on somewhere, and I don't know. I think I was trying to, because I think I never really watched it fully through. I was like, okay, I'm going to watch it fully through.
Let me give it a chance.
Understand this, because I think I saw good reviews for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is this movie good? It's like, I didn't really like it. Did you like it?
Yeah, I like Lilo and Stitch. It's not one of my favorites, but I think it's okay.
It just, I don't know. This wasn't really into it. Just seems so, it seemed like a weird Disney movie.
Mm.
I think that's what it's like a creature that was supposed to kill people or something, and then he didn't. Yeah. I don't know. It just felt a little weird. I want my princesses back. That's why I was like, I want my princesses back. And it's just
and they gave you Frozen, and you said, thank God.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So Star Trek Bridge Commander came out on the Windows. This is before the VR game. This is but I'm just assuming you're just on the bridge and you're commanding.
I think it was like a precursor to the VR one, basically. You were simulating being on the bridge crew.
So now that people here, like, they all got in uniforms and stuff, like your Star Trek fans got in their own uniforms and shit, and like act like, yes, I'm commanding the bridge. But now with the VR, it's like, oh, I don't have to do this anymore.
Exactly.
I don't have to try to fit in this.
But I'm still going
shirt. Yeah, I'm still going to put this shirt on that I'm probably like 3 sizes too small on me and get in here. All right, it got a 4.5 out of 5 on GOG. I mean, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's got
I guess people like
on
it.
Metacritic. It's looking good.
Yeah. All right. Look at this. Look at this. Is that supposed to be like a Picardish kind of looking guy? No, that is Picard.
That's Picard.
No,
that's licensed Picard. Come on.
Look at the polygons on him. Look at Data. Oh my goodness. Oh man.
Well, extra polygons around the middle, if you know what I'm saying.
All right. So what else we have? We have Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2002 came out for the PlayStation 2 and Windows. Golf Resort Tycoon 2 came out for the Windows. It was going up against well, I don't know if Sid Meier's Golf even came out yet. I think it's coming. No, yeah, people are going to regret it. They're going to regret buying this game when Sid Meier's Golf comes out. All right. This game is huge. Xenosaga Episode 1, Der Willy Zermatt came out. I got this game because I was a big Xenogear fan. We never got a sequel, and they didn't really finish that game because that second disc was just a whole lot of exposition. So, and then they talked about it years later why that was. The kid in me, it was like, what the fuck is this? I was so pissed. But then I saw this, like, oh, this is like the spiritual successor to Xenogears. And I got this game, and they said, like, oh, this is going to be huge. This is going to be like 6 episodes, like 6 games and stuff. Ended up being only 3. I was disappointed. And I think I stopped on the second one when I we didn't, like, people didn't even know there was going to be a third one or not, or what was going on with it. But a third one did come out. I don't know if I think they stopped at 3. I don't think they went to 4. I don't remember 4, but that's when I stopped paying attention to it. But this game, it was good. It's Japanese as fuck. I mean, it is weird anime shit. But the teenager in me was all into this shit. And I thought it was the smartest writing, one of the smartest writings I ever seen in my life. I was like, you just don't understand because they talk about life and God and stuff like that. And now that I go back, I probably think, like, this just doesn't make a lick of damn sense. What the fuck is this? All right. Because I forgot what Der Willy Zermatt, I think that's German, which I should know this because I took German for 2 years. And the only word I did know one of these words. Der. I think that was the. I think that's the. Let me look that up. Der Willy. Because I was like, what language is this? And then
it's German, right?
I felt so bad because I was like, oh, this is German. I think it's German. Will to power? Will to power. The will to power. I was right. Der.
There you go.
Yep. The will to power. There you go. That's what it was.
Now I know Will is Willy.
All right. So what we got? Okay, so that's it for February. And you know what? I have to go back to February of 2012, but I'll remember to do that because I forgot the game, the big one that we should have been talked about.
Yeah, all right, it's fine. Doesn't have to be in exact order.
All right, March of 2002, we got Shadow Man Second Coming.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, he comes twice, baby.
Yeah, apparently he does.
Oh man, what's the first Shadow Man good?
I don't think it was particularly great. I don't think
this Vin Diesel looks very dark.
He's definitely gotten a tan since the first game. It feels like.
Yeah, this is like look like a black Vin Diesel. All right, so what we have? It got 68 out of 100. Hey, CVG gave it an 8 out of 10. That stands for computers and video games. EGM gave it a 6 out of 10. Game Pro gave it a 7 out of 10. GamePro gave it a 3 out of 5. Yeah, I'm not saying anything. CVG is the only one. That's why they don't exist anymore. They're the only ones to give it that real high score. But I remember this cover. I remember seeing this cover places. Acclaim. All right. What else we have here? We got Echo the Dolphin, baby. Came to the PlayStation 2. I was sort of waiting for this. But then I saw the reviews and I didn't care anymore. Because the reviews for the PlayStation got the Metacritic was like 71. Game Informer gave it a 5.5. See, I was already reading Game Informer.
Yeah.
If I would have read CVG, they gave it an 8 out of 10, and I would have been like, oh yeah, I gotta get this game. IGN gave it a 7.8 out of 10. It actually got a decent score on Metacritic on Dreamcast, so why did it get worse on PlayStation 2? Why didn't Game Informer review Echo the Dolphin on Dreamcast? They got maybe the Wikipedia just didn't put it up there, but it's just weird that why the Dreamcast version? What happened with the transition to PlayStation? Whatever. But Echo the Dolphin I used to play a hell of a lot on my Sega Genesis. Here's the thing with that game. I played that game probably longer than people who actually beat the game. I did not ever go to another level. All I did was just flip in the water, swim down, and flip. And that's all I ever did.
Yeah. Because
every time it seemed like when I did try to go farther, I died because I didn't get enough air. Or actually, I think that's the only reason. Because I go to tunnels and I don't get enough air. So I never beat that. I never even got to the second level of that game.
Yeah.
Like, I was just in the beginning part, just flipping around. I just thought that was the best thing ever, just to flip with the dolphins. I'm a dolphin. All right. Fatal Frame. This scary ass game came out on PlayStation 2. It's always like a little Japanese girl or something that scares the shit out of you. But yeah, this game, I think it got okay reviews.
That's what all Japanese ghosts are.
Yeah. 74 out of 100 on PlayStation 2. Actually, 77 out of 100 on Xbox. I think it came out. I don't know if it came out at the same time as the PlayStation. Oh, yes, it did. No. Where we go? Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it came out later that year on the Xbox. All right, so we got Knockout Kings 2002. Who was in front of this? Muhammad Ali was in front of this. We got Hurdy-Gurdy out here. Everybody knows Hurdy-Gurdy,
What the hell that is. This cover is not helping me.
The cover, I actually seen the cover before. I just never knew what the game was. I guess is it a platform? Yeah, platform puzzle game or whatever. And which one is it? The Bears Hurdy-Gurdy or that little thing? I don't know. Or the guy.
Hurdy, one's Gurdy.
But it's an IDOS game, and the guys who did work on Tomb Raider made this. Core Design.
Yeah, probably the guys that made Angel of Darkness.
Yeah, that's a great game too. All right, yeah, only got 69 out of 100. What we got? Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 finally came to the Xbox. So after they were pissed off, like, all we got is this 2.5 shit, while everybody else got 3.
Yep.
It's like, we got 3 now. So in your face. We got it with the Game Boy Advance. All right, so what else we have here? We got High Heat Major League Baseball. Look, another baseball with our favorite guy on the front.
Oh, yeah. Kurt Schilling.
Yes. Yeah. And I feel like we've said this game already. This is the Game Boy Advance version that came out. That's why. We did say this game.
Low def. Kurt Schilling.
Yeah. We got the Game Boy Advance version of NHL 2002.
It probably didn't have the Russian team in it either.
And now I got one game for 30 years ago until I'll go back to say the game I missed. 30 years ago, Contra 3, The Alien Wars came out in Japan for Super Nintendo. And I mean, I'm not a big Contra guy, but I know I heard people say they like it. So
it's a big game. It's too hard for me.
Yeah. But yeah, people love the game. So yeah, it's been 30 years. I mean, just think about it. And that's the third one, Daniel. It's been 30 years since the third game.
Yeah.
God damn, man, we're getting old. So I still remember the first game. All right, so where are we at? Okay, now to go back to 2012. There was one game I was trying to wait till last to talk about, which technically I did wait till last to talk about. Well, it was 2 games. Let's talk about the one before the big one. Where am I, Daniel? Okay, here we go. All right, I didn't remember the subtitle for that game. All right, you got Mass Effect Infiltrator came out for the iOS and Android, which is like a side story. I think it was a prequel, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make this to be a sequel. It was, I don't know. It got 60 out of 100. It was a third-person shooter. Oh, it's not even the other one I was thinking of. I was thinking of another one.
I thought it was the one starring what's-his-face?
Yeah, me too.
Guy.
But now I remember, because now I know the cover of that one. I guess that one must have came out earlier, maybe, because this came out at the same time. Because that one, you know what? I think did that one come out earlier or later? I don't remember.
Yeah,
It's definitely ain't this game. Yeah, because Infiltrator is a third-dimensional, third-person shooter which mimics many of the gameplay features and animations from the Mass Effect games. It's touch interface, blah blah blah. The plot is you play as a Cerberus operative, Randall Enzo, at the opening of the game. He is deployed on an ice planet, charged with bringing down a Turian that Cerberus has marked for death. So it's one of those type of games, the side games, get some money on, cash some money in. But I heard it wasn't that bad. So, 7 out of 10 from Game Informer. So there you go. Iron Monkey made it. Yes, go Iron Monkey. I don't know if they probably even exist anymore. So the big game that came out, Mass Effect 3. It's been 10 years since the final game of the trilogy has come out. This is probably the most anticipated game of my adult life. Like, this is the game I was waiting for. I was like, oh my God, I really want this game. I need this game. I was just like, oh man, because I love the whole series. 2, I really want to finish it. And I was like, yes, this is the end. And then I finally got it. So happy. And then I didn't have to pay for the special edition. They just gave me that character, the Prothean, the Prothean. That's what Joker wanted to call him. I got the character from GameStop. Yes, GameStop. Because it's like, hey, would just give you this because we got a whole bunch of them. I said, oh yeah, give me the code. Just like, good. And I'm so glad I did, Daniel, because that is a big story with that guy.
Yes.
Like, he's a big part of the game. Now, like somebody says, like, if you never knew about him, or like if you never played it or even had the DLC or something, you wouldn't even know about it. Like, it would still be a good game. The game, you still go through it without, like, you missing something. But knowing that this was DLC, being like something you had to pre-order or something like that to get, it was ridiculous. It was something that should be part of the game. Like what they had. That was ridiculous. Yeah, this is when, well, I say when, but it's always been like EA used to do a lot of shit like this with their games, man. They have, like, they did this with Dragon Age games too. Have this stuff like extra shit to get, and like they really force you to buy it all, and something you couldn't get it all. This is what a lot of games would do too. Like certain stores would have certain things, so it was just awful. But anyway, like going through the game, like I like the game. Playing through the game, I had a great time. I say, oh, this is incredible. I was really into the story. Then the ending, that was a big controversy. Now, I didn't know it was a controversy because I didn't read no about reviews or nothing about people playing it. I played it myself. I got to the ending. I didn't like how it ended. So I said, thank God I saved, because I'm going to pick the other choices. I picked the other two choices. You have the one where, the best one I thought was one where you just said, fuck you, and basically, and destroyed it, and it destroyed all the mass relays. And basically, because they said, like, all AIs die. Because they said, if you do this choice of destroying the Reapers, like, it will destroy all AI. Right. All AI will end. And I was like, Darren, the Geth, man, I got them to help me. But based on other two choices, I didn't want to become a god, and I didn't want to assimilate. Like it would be like, organics and synthetics combined as one. Like, we'd just be one. I was like, no, I'm not into that. We need to be separate but equal. Separate but equal. That's what we need to be.
You got them to help, but you were against the robots the entire time anyway, Dom.
But Dan, you know how I feel about robots. I was
exactly.
Look.
You had no problem taking their lives.
Listen, I felt for them, but now I thought, like, no, listen, we gotta go. So I chose that. That's really the ending I chose. But the way it ended, like, you didn't really see what happened to anybody. Like, it just went to credits, and then it went to the person saying, somebody told me to their grandpa, told me about the shepherd thing. I was like, is this the ending? I was like, is this it? So I was like, I had to go online and see what people are saying about it. And I've never been a message board guy. And this is the first time I ever really got on message boards like that on video games. Like, this game's probably started for me. And I saw the people just so disappointed like me. But they were murderous. People were angry. And then you saw people who were trying to justify it. And some people just said, hey, this is their story. You shouldn't force them. They had to change their story, which I understand. I get that too. I wasn't even saying do it over for me, because I never thought you could do that, honestly. So that never even crossed my mind to like, you got to give me another ending. It's just that it sucked. I just said, man, this game was good. Your ending just sucked, man. That's like, I enjoyed the game, but it sucked at the end. So when I heard that they were doing it over again, the ending, I was like, what? Really? And then I looked at the new one. It was better. It was better. I mean, I would have preferred that to happen. It wasn't great, but it was better. But I just didn't I didn't care about me dying. That's the thing. I didn't mind Shepard dying. I just wanted to know what happened to everybody. I just wanted to know, what was going on. And I do kind of wish there was other choices. I was like, is there a choice where he just don't die? Even if it's a bad choice, he just doesn't die, though.
Right.
I mean, technically, the God one, he doesn't really die, but I'm not a human being anymore, really. I'm like some type of god or something, whatever. Yeah. But I didn't want to be able. I don't even want to control things. I don't want to control them. I just want, or I put it like this: I control them, put them on auto, and I can go do the fuck I want like a regular human. Something like that.
There you go.
That's what I wanted. But yeah, it just felt. Yeah, I mean, the ending wasn't great, but the overall game was good. Like, it was still my favorite of that generation. It just sucks that it's like, darn, I can't just get a game that just be good all throughout. I mean, what the fuck? Like, why?
Compromises.
Yeah. But I was like, hey, but there still was a good experience. I mean, going through the game, it was still great. It was still good how they combine everything you've done in the previous games. Also seeing people you haven't seen since the first game. That was nice. There were still some things I want to change with the series, though. Like, I wish there was more things you could have done with your previous mates from the first game in the second game.
Mm.
And I wish there was more things you could do with the mates you had in the second game in the third game. Because really, they just kind of just went back to the first game in the third one. Like, hey, all those characters are back now. You can play with them again. Because you're going to play with them in the second game. Unless it was the DLC, you had Liar.
Right.
But other than that, you wasn't really with them. Unless only the Turian. Only Garrus. Garrus and Tali. So now you get Rex and Ashley or Caden, whatever one you had, to come in there. But I was like, I was a little disappointed that I couldn't play with the other characters from the second game. Like, wasn't with me to this road. I was like, yeah, you know what? I mean, no offense to what's his name? What's his name? Who's with the girl from Buffy? The guy who played Freddy.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, well, he is Freddy. Oh yeah, it's just, Freddie Prinze Jr. Yeah, no offense to him. Like, if you could replace him with somebody I already knew, man, I would have been all right. You could have, or just have him another character. I mean, he could be another character. That's fine. But I'm like, darn, man, like, why is that nobody? Like, I mean, I'm glad you got to see everybody though. You get to see everybody. That was cool. Though I couldn't take at least a couple of them with me to be with me, but oh well. But it was good. The game overall was great. This is one of my favorite games. Second one's still my favorite one overall, but yeah. Okay, I talked all about this game. You didn't really say much. What you got to say?
I'm right there with you. It's an excellent game, gameplay wise. You know, it improved on even the second one, which drastically improved, I feel like, on the first one. But yeah, the story stuff, it just kind of fell apart at the end. And otherwise, I thought it was really good. So it was kind of disappointing in that. And obviously, all the talk around it, I think, dragged it down a little more for me because I think I was actually engaged with that stuff. But yeah, I still feel like it's a very good game overall that, just kind of made some poor choices in the end that in some ways they were kind of forced into, right? Like they had that problem where, they need to give you the illusion that you had free choices over this entire thing. But at the end of the day, they have to kind of wrap it up the same way no matter what.
And that's what the problem is. It came down to only 3 choices. Like a game like this, you feel like, man, it should have been more than just 3.
Yeah.
Should have been some other kind of choice.
Yeah.
But the DLC they had attached to this game were good. They added a lot to the story of the game to a point that, I mean, the best one was probably the one where it was like almost like a, where everybody was coming together, like a partying and doing things on the Citadel. What was it called? It's called something to the Citadel. That was like probably the best one. But they had a DLC where you met the original species that first saw the Reapers. Like the Reapers were based on them. And that was a good storyline, but the Leviathan, that's what it was.
One. Okay.
Yeah. And thing is, how big that was, really, it still doesn't connect with the game. That's the problem. It's like, actually, this is huge. Like, this is something people should have been talking about. like in the game, like, this should have been discussed more. But this is DLC, they can't really kind of do that.
Right.
Incorporate it that way. But hopefully in this new Mass Effect they're supposed to be working on, hopefully this turns out great for them. Well, great for me, I should say. I mean, really.
Yeah, we'll find out in 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, we still got to get Dragon Age 4 going here.
Which sounds like it might be like 2024.
Yeah, I know. All right. So that is it for the flashback segment. And now I guess we take a quick break when we get back into the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. And now we get into the gaming news. What we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic. So this one actually happened, I think, the week before we went on break there. But I missed it somehow. Nintendo is shutting down their Wii U and 3DS digital stores beginning sometime in March of 2023. But effectively, it's happening a lot sooner because you won't be able to add funds to your wallet with a credit card beginning May 23rd of this year. You will be able to get eShop cards and add funds via that route up until August 29th. But honestly, like, where are you going to get eShop money cards from unless they carry over between like the Switch eShop cards and the Wii U one? So it's still weird to me. This isn't surprising. I mean, we saw this happen, or at least attempt to happen, with the PlayStation stuff. Sony actually turned around on that because people were, upset about it. But Nintendo's Nintendo. They're just gonna be like, "Oh, you're sad. Too bad. Here, shut up."
Yeah.
But what's crazy to me is there are games on the Wii U that have not made their way to the Switch yet, like a certain Wind Waker HD and a Twilight Princess HD. And that comes as even more of a surprise now, knowing that Blades of Time is on the Switch. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though, right? Is like the Wii U is the last place that the Virtual Console also existed. So the Wii U is like the one place where you can play like every Zelda game that is released at this point. The 3DS, there are some exclusive games that I think will be missed, but not too many. And a lot of those, unfortunately, require like the 3D aspect of that system, like Pushmo, game like that. that could still find a way to work on a Switch, but isn't necessarily going to have the same effect. Yeah, I mean, you're going to get into this argument all the time about, digital games and whatnot, especially coming up against someone like myself, or I think even you to a slightly lesser extent. Like, I'm all in on the digital thing right now, but at the same time, I'm doing that under the impression that someday I may lose access to that stuff. I mean,
yeah,
hopefully I won't. I mean, like, I honestly don't expect to lose access to my Steam library anytime soon. Whereas consoles, I feel like a little more apprehensive about. Xbox, not quite as much. They've shown that preservation is important to them. But Nintendo, like, once again, I feel like they just don't give a shit.
They still haven't got there. They're not there at all.
Yeah. Like they haven't gotten to the unified account spot yet. Which is kind of crazy.
They should have been got there. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, especially between having a portable and a home console, it would have benefited them more than anybody to have a universal account system. So Nintendo has been behind since day one and will continue to be behind, and this only proves that they're willing to stay there, and it's not that important of an aspect to them.
Because they making to say, hey, look, we still selling consoles, we still making money.
Yeah.
But I just think like, yo, you could be making more money.
Yeah.
You could be making so much more. And like, I don't see this as a loss. I don't know how this is a loss. I think somebody just explained to me business-wise some of these decisions that Nintendo has made, that if they made some decisions that Microsoft or Sony has made, how would that hurt them?
Right. Yeah, how much is the cost to operate these servers versus how much money could be made if you had made everything that's available on the Wii U to be purchased on the Switch? Like, how would that be a bad idea for you? Yeah. I don't know. I can't help but think like part of it is because they don't have that universal system, they want to move on to a more futuristic thing, or even whatever the eShop for the Switch is now is not compatible with that original eShop. So it is just costing them money because there are very few purchases going through that now. So they would be supporting
I understand
two
that
ecosystems.
Now, but it should have been from the beginning and like doing that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's the crazy thing is they've clearly just have like this backwards mentality and have made very little effort to kind of future proof themselves. They're more willing to just drop the thing and move on to the next thing, and instead of worrying about any sort of backwards compatibility.
Yeah, they're still on the impression like the old days, like, hey, look, that console's dead. You ain't messing with it. And some people they feel that way because like with the Sony, like some people say like, I don't care about the PS4 games coming over. I just want PS5 games. I'm like, yo, times has changed, man. And honestly, the only reason they were like that before is because of the limitations of that not happening.
They didn't have a different option.
Yeah. Now, look, some of these games have come to a point where people don't mind playing older games. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not like a significant difference. Like something that's just unplayable. It's like, oh man, this is unplayable. Nah, a lot of these games are still playable today. And people want to go back to them. I mean, look at games like Left 4 Dead. Like, look at what people playing freaking Counter-Strike and shit. I mean, they updated and shit, but still, it's not, that game still, like, if I look at that, you look at that game, that game is horrible.
Yeah, it's not a modern looking game.
Yeah. It's people still playing these old ass games, and there's nothing like Left 4 Dead. Like even Back 4 Blood is not, it's okay game, but there's no Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead is still the king. Like nobody's ever done it, so that's why I'm glad. Like Microsoft didn't make it so that the console people could play backwards compatible. Man, it'll be done. It'll be like, darn, I gotta hook my 360 back up or something like that before I can play this game. But thank God that Microsoft did that. Because people are still playing that game on the consoles. Like, I understand PC, that's different because they got the balls and everything, but people still playing that game on the consoles because and no game beats that. Even World War Z. I mean, they got players because it's something new. They got to play something. But there was a new Left 4 Dead. Shit.
All right, Dominic. Next up, we got Shadow Warrior 3 that launched this past week. But alongside that, it premiered on PlayStation Now. So as part of the PlayStation Now service, you can play Shadow Warrior 3, a brand new game. Sounds like a novel concept.
Yes.
Wonder where they got that idea from.
The PlayStation should do that more often.
Yes, they should. Now, when I saw this news, I sent it to you and I was like, wow, I'm impressed. Like, Sony's actually taking some steps. And then, like, I immediately saw articles like, oh, Sony's going to do better than Game Pass because they're doing the thing now. And it's like, oh, you guys are jumping to some conclusions real quick. Because we're still not. This is Shadow Warrior 3. This wasn't Horizon's Forbidden West. This wasn't Gran Turismo 7. Like, calm down.
It wasn't even their own. Yeah, it's not even their own game.
Which is kind of funny that their own game is actually like a bigger deal than getting someone else's game. But those games, I think, Gran Turismo to a lesser extent, I think is a bigger thing than Shadow Warrior 3. And Gran Turismo 7, despite my feelings on it, I think would be a bigger thing also than Shadow Warrior 3.
Yeah, those names are huge.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a prestige to that series that would lend credence to that service. So, you know, we're still waiting on details about this supposed Spartacus or whatever service that they're going to talk about at some point. I don't know, maybe in the next month or so. But this is definitely a step in the right direction for Sony. Like, I do want to give them that credit. Now, but I also want to say it's not the full gambit like Game Pass is yet. On
the PS Now, on the PC, is it just streaming or can you put those games on your PC hard drive?
I highly doubt you can put those games on your hard drive because, you know, at least Microsoft has that tie to like the Microsoft Store. Yeah. I wouldn't even know where Sony would begin with that stuff, to be honest with you.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for them to go all out some way. Like, have something, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Is like, yeah. Yeah.
But all their games can stream, though, right?
I believe so, because I think that's like the entirety of their service, basically.
Yeah,
like,
that was what it was before, first, right?
Yeah.
At first, it was.
I wonder if now is the time to buy into PlayStation Now in case they raise the price and like. Yeah,
is it $15? It's $15 a month too, right?
It is $10 a month, $60 a year.
Oh yeah, they got a yearly thing. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, like $60 a year is not terrible. That's the price of one old generation game. I mean, literally, like if I wanted,
and it's a whole lot easier to me than
play Shadow Warrior, I could go that direction.
See, I wish they had just had like all their PS3 games up there. Mm. Like, do they have all the Ratchet? One time they didn't have all the Ratchet case. I think they might. Maybe they do now. Because at one point I was looking for Jack and Daxter, and they didn't have one of them.
Mm. Let's see, Ratchet.
They had all the God of Wars except for the big one. At the time, one time when I was up there.
Yeah, it looks like they at least have the majority. They have the new ones. They have a Crack in Time, All for One, Nexus, Q-Force, which I'm not sure what that is. Full Frontal Assault. Which one is that? And Quest for Booty.
So all the PS3 ones?
Yeah.
Don't have none of the PS2 ones?
Nope, not yet. Oh, Full Frontal Assault. I remember that one now.
Like, they should at least have the HD remastered of those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of weird that it doesn't have the Ratchet and Clank collection, right?
How about Sly Cooper? Because Sly Cooper only had one game on the PS3.
Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. That's
so just that one.
Yep. Thievius Cartoonist or whatever. Yeah, so that's the problem.
Oh, you know what Jack was? I think Jack was I don't know if it was PlayStation Now. I think they were just selling the HD one. Was it? That's
Is that what maybe, it was?
It was. I forget what it was because it was something different. It was different than just buying an HD collection.
Gotcha.
It was because somebody said, "Oh, this runs better than the collection," or vice versa. It was something weird, like a version of Jack 2.
Okay. Oh, they do have the Sly trilogy. I'm sorry. They have it under T because of the. So I was also checking to see if they had the Ratchet and Clank trilogy or whatever they call it, but I do not see that. Yeah, I mean, looking at this list just in word form, like I'm looking at this and going, God damn, they have a shit ton of games on here. But at the same time, I mean, now I'm thinking about it, like $60 if I'm not just streaming the games doesn't seem like such a bad deal. Because you compare that $5 a month compared to $15 a month, of course I'm get a better service out of Game Pass. So that might be something to look into. I don't know. Not that I have all that much time to play the video games I already have, so maybe not. Let's not give Sony my money.
See, I was gonna say, I'm thinking it's more of like PlayStation Now. I mean, like they do have a lot of games. I mean, just like I said, a lot of the big ones that people talk about are not up there. And then Xbox has more options of how you play those games that than what Sony has. Because not everybody can stream, but they can just download the game. Like my friend, he can't really stream the game. He doesn't. Well, I guess maybe he just choose not to. I have no idea. But most of the time, he just downloads on his console, and plays those games to play. While like for PC, I download on PC. Now I'm streaming. I mean, now I'm streaming because it does well. It works well because first it wasn't working well. But yeah, I think if people got the option just to download, because not everybody can stream, because that takes a lot of the bandwidth or whatever. Downloading is probably a whole lot easier for them.
All right, Dominic. Next up, we got Star Wars Eclipse. That is the game from wow. My brain just went blank. What is that studio over there with David Cage? Quantum Dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Quantic Dreams. That's the name of it.
That's right. They were doing that Star Wars game.
Yes, they are doing that Star Wars game. The trailer for that debuted at the Game Awards, I believe. And now it looks like they are not going to be releasing that game until sometime in 2027 or 2028.
They give them that much time.
Somebody must be giving them that much time, but apparently they are having a hard time hiring new talent because of probably certain allegations related to that studio that have not been resolved. So that's
figure there's enough dicks out there
there's enough scabs out there.
Yeah, they can get to work there. Come on.
They're like, hell yeah, I want to work on a Star Wars game. I mean, that's the crazy thing, right? Is it's not just like, oh, you have to work for Quantic Dream, but it's like, you get to work on a Star Wars
weird,
game.
Though. This is something I never even heard of. I mean, it's probably happened, we just didn't report it.
Yeah.
But for them to say this game is like because we'll have enough talent, I'm like, can somebody take it away from them and give it to somebody else, please?
Can we give this to BioWare? Can we? I know they've already got too many games on their plate already. So, yeah, that's the thing that made this like the most story to me is the fact that like
the guy
I've never heard anyone say that before in the past. Like, oh, we couldn't hire enough people. Yeah,
I was saying the guy from Being a Dick should go over there. He should
get
the job.
Now we're talking. Yeah.
And there has to be like a trade off. Like they help put money toward him finishing this story.
I thought you were going to say David Cage is going to finish Being a Dick.
Yeah, that's fine.
As long as it gets,
he seems to know that stuff.
The guy who made Being a Dick has a healthier relationship with sex and humans than David Cage does. All right, Dominic. Next up, Square Enix is being Square Enix because once again they believe that the Western developed video game has underperformed their sales expectations. This time it is Guardians of the Galaxy.
What has done well for them?
Final Fantasy, Dominic. Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
But definitely not any of the Tomb Raiders, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers, or any of those games. Yes. Yeah. They said sales on launch undershot our initial expectations, and they continue to expand sales to make up for the title's slow start, because they've said it's picked up with people putting it on sale and whatnot, and with good word.
Did it launch worse than Marvel's Avengers?
I think it did, which doesn't surprise me.
That's understandable. Yeah, that's understandable.
Because you're coming off of that game, right? Is like,
yeah,
people don't know yet that it is a good game, and they're just going, oh, yeah, I saw what Marvel's Avengers was, and I saw the trailers just like Daniel did, and he was unimpressed by it. But then he heard that, apparently it's pretty good, so maybe you should check it out. So... yeah, I mean, I definitely get why the sales saw an uptick. I'm just wondering, like, they constantly say this stuff about how it underperformed. Like, who is making these performance metrics? Because it seems like either they are completely unrealistic or they're completely unrealistic. I don't know. I can't think of another option.
They just don't like their American side, Daniel. I mean, that's not American.
That's fine, but like, split it off then.
Their Western side.
Yeah.
It's like, no. Yeah.
Sell that to Microsoft then. I don't know.
Yeah.
Give it to somebody that's going to do something with it. Give it to Ubisoft.
Because it's funny, because I like those games that have been coming out. I mean, I'm not even a Hitman. How do they feel about Hitman?
Same. That's why they let them go. They're like, you guys are just costing us money. That's another one there. Yeah, exactly.
So that's why Microsoft get all these idols games, because they just didn't do well, and they're going to Microsoft pay some money, and it's like, hey, it's good. We get something from them to be on Game Pass. I don't know. I guess these all critically acclaimed games are just not. I mean, how much they're supposed to sell? They're supposed to sell like Grand Theft Auto, I guess.
Yes, every single game is supposed to sell like Grand Theft Auto that sells for 4 generations.
I see the numbers. I just want to know numbers like that compared to other games.
And that's the problem, right? Is like they always say these things, but then you hear stories about how like even the developers were not getting the numbers for their own games. And it's like somebody's screwing somebody.
So this is underperforming. We don't perform well. They say they're underperforming.
This is some Succession type shit right here, Dominic.
Yeah.
Politics all the way down. All right. This is a weird one, Dominic. Continuing Epic's acquirees. They recently picked up Bandcamp.
They picked up a Bandcamp?
Bandcamp.
Why did they pick up a Bandcamp?
So, like...
Is that the same one that girl from American Pie went to?
Yes, exactly that. There's a flute places. Yeah, so if you aren't good enough to get on SoundCloud, you post your stuff to Bandcamp, and now Epic has bought it so they can put your song in Fortnite, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. Unless they have plans to do something with like harmonics and Bandcamp, I don't know. I don't know what they get from picking up Bandcamp. Like metaverse stuff? Is Fortnite going to become the metaverse, Dominic? I guess that's what I'm asking.
I was chewing or something. I couldn't hear you. So what is Bandcamp again?
So Bandcamp is basically poor man SoundCloud or rich man SoundCloud, depending on how you look at it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, is Fortnite just going to become the metaverse, Dominic? Are we going to all live in Fortnite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
The answer is that simple. Yes, we are. Is there's no VR version of Fortnite yet, right?
Nope.
I feel like they're missing out there. Maybe they're waiting to launch their own headset.
I still haven't tried those games. I think I tried the tutorial on one of those multiplayer games,
like
free.
The population one. Because I think that's the best of the
I don't
VR.
think it's that one though.
No. Okay.
I think I downloaded that one though.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that's the one I've heard is the best one.
Is that the one where you can jetpack?
You have a wingsuit. I don't know if you can jetpack.
Okay, so this is a different one then.
Okay.
I just haven't got to the point where I'm playing against people. I keep forgetting because every time I get there, I say I want to do something, move a lot. Which that way I would, but I'm trying to play some of these single player games. But I might just jump in. I want to see how that is. See these kids yell at me and call me names. So, stuff. And now I physically can't get them because I'm too big and tired. It's like, come at me.
They're so young and agile. Oh my God.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Dominic, Knockout City. This almost felt inevitable. Otherwise, that game was going to die. It's going to be going free to play on June 1st when Season 6 kicks off.
Did the other game go free to play?
Which one was
or
that?
Or just went away?
The Bomb Rocket Arena?
The Rocket Arena, yeah.
I think Rocket Arena went free to play. I don't recall now.
I just want to know, was this always planned?
That's a good question. Apparently Rocket Arena is free to play with an EA Play subscription. It does not look like that it is free anywhere, but it is $5 on Steam.
Yeah, that game is just whatever.
Oh, it's $5. Well, yeah, it's $5 on Steam, $9 for the Mythic pack, and $5 if you buy EA Play through Steam, which I forgot you could do. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if it's just like a level of, because they're also going to be self-publishing this, Valen Studios, the people that develop this game, yes. They're going to be self-publishing it going forward. I just wondered if they were like, we're super committed to this thing. We believe it has legs. We're going to, see if EA will just let us out of this deal and we'll go out on our own. And if that's the case, hopefully it works out for them. Maybe it could be the next Rocket League, Dominic. Of course, Rocket League wasn't free to play until Epic bought them. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they're just looking for Epic to buy them. And if that's the case, good for them. Get that 10-cent money. So it's interesting that it seems like it's got some legs though. Like people were still talking about it here and there, I see, and they're still doing seasons for it. So that's good. They're supporting it. It sounds like this current season 5 doesn't have like new arenas or new balls like the previous seasons.
Well, for me personally, like I'm hearing it just as much as I hear about Fall Guys.
Yeah. Which is not at all, or
yeah, not at all.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Fall Guys is still a lot older.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm just saying that because I can't really, so I don't know if it's not popular or not because if I go by that, like Fall Guys, I ain't hearing much about. Well, to tell you the truth, I ain't hearing about much about Among Us. But Among Us, I am seeing it on Twitch though. Like I see that on the top spot, so I know that's still out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the thing, right? Is like with Fall Guys, I still see ads every once in a while, like season whatever is this, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that game does still exist, and it's cool that they're still supporting it. But I really don't hear anybody talk about it.
I know Fall Guys is going to be that game that kind of keep going, but Among Us is the one that stayed because that was free to play from the not free to play, but I think it was like
it was free to play on phones and stuff. Yeah,
the phone, yeah. Fall Guys wasn't. It wasn't even on the phones. It was on the PlayStation. They had it for free because that was a free.
Yeah, and that game still hasn't even come to the Xbox and the Switch yet, right?
Exactly. So. And I'm like, is it going to be a resurgence? I'm sorry, I got this Swedish fish stuck in my tooth when I'm just.
I can't blame you. Swedish fish are the best.
But yeah, is it going to be a resurgence when they come out? Because like, darn, like it seemed like. Almost like we missed the boat. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely feels like they missed like that crest that they had going on with the PlayStation. You could have released that like last summer and you would have hit it perfectly, but now it feels like it's been too long. Like
how long was Rocket League at the PlayStation?
That feels like it was a long time, but maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of like when it came to Game Pass or something. PS,
because I bought it.
Yeah. Let's see if we can just get released.
Man, they show this girl's panties so many times in this damn show. Watching this show called Kill la Kill.
Oh, okay.
This anime show. Like they just stay on people's asses.
July Xbox. Let's see when it came out on Xbox. It's not going to tell me, is it? February 2016. So like 6 months, it seems like, because it came out July for PlayStation and then February of the next year on the
So
Xbox.
only 6 months.
Yeah.
This is years now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're coming up on a year now, right? I think it was like May.
More than a year.
Has it really been?
It wasn't last year. That's 20. Last year was 21.
Oh shit! You know, I keep
22.
forgetting that 2021 existed. Yeah, that game came out in August of 2020. I was thinking it came out like the beginning of last year, or what I thought was last year, which is not last year. Yeah, God, I'm forgetting years existed anymore, Dominic. That's a problem. It's all just rolling together. All right. Let's see, Dominic. Next news I got here, and I guess the final news, because we already talked about Pokemon, unless there was something more we wanted to get into with that. We got Street Fighter 6 has been announced. They showed that off with a little trailer of Ryu versus Luke, who is like the last DLC character they added to 5.
Oh wait a minute, they showed that fight?
It's not like a gameplay fight. It's just like a CG trailer thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like splashes of color and stuff all over it. Yeah, so I don't. What would a Street Fighter 6 have that Street Fighter 5 didn't, that you would want to see, or you think?
Well, it's on Xbox and PC. Well, it's already on PC, but
yes, that would be a step. I was gonna say.
Well, I have a PS4 now. I didn't have a PS4 when it first came out.
Yeah,
it's 5. And then I was scared because like the way the pricing was, because it came out with just this many stuff and things kept getting added on later on.
That really was so weird the way that went down.
Yeah, hopefully this comes out as like a regular full game when it comes out. Man, I know they're gonna have stuff you buy later, but not like 5 did. I don't know what you do, honestly, Dan. I just know this, for fighting games, I'm not going to get them when they first come out anymore. I'm going to stop doing that.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson on that. So it'll be something I'll wait, and maybe when a big package comes, and if it's something that gets my eye, then I'll get it. But it's got to be something along the lines of like Dragon Ball Fighters or something. I got to have a mode where I can, at least a tag team mode, like you can switch out people. But
yeah.
but that's a different game, and I totally understand. Like, hey, well, just give what the people want. It's nothing you probably can do for me, but give what the people, the guys who want what they want,
whatever that is.
Yeah, because the game I want is Mortal Kombat and another Dragon Ball Fighters, or something that's like Dragon Ball Fighters, just with some other characters.
Yeah,
something like that.
And the game I want is Darkstalkers.
So is this just what is this, a new Darkstalkers or what?
So they're also releasing a Capcom fighting game collection in June of this year on the 24th for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. And it's going to include 10 games, including Darkstalkers, The Night Warriors, Darkstalkers Revenge, that's Darkstalkers 2. And then...
That's characters Felicia. And I ain't talking about gameplay, because I have no idea how to play none of the characters. Not
a Heisenko kind of guy.
Fuck no.
You also have Vampire Savior, The Lord of Vampire, Vampire Hunters 2, Vampire Savior 2, The Lord of Vampires. And apparently those are all like Darkstalkers 3, but like different variations. It's weird. I don't know.
I had Darkstalkers 3.
Darkstalkers 3 is very good. It's got like all the characters.
Yeah.
And then you have Red Earth, which is...
with one.
What's that?
Only played with one.
There are plenty of chesty characters in those games, Dominic. I guess
but
all of them
I don't know.
Furries.
It was something about Felicia, man.
I know. Said tail. All right. So we also have Red Earth, which is another fighting game from Capcom. Cyberpot's Full Metal Madness. That's another fighting game. It's got robots, as you might expect. Then you also have Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Hyper Street Fighter 2, the Anniversary Edition, because it is the 35th anniversary of Street Fighter, and Super Gem Fighter Minimax. And
35th of Street Fighter 2?
Not Street Fighter 2. I think Street Fighter.
Actual 3 Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we're not quite that old, thankfully, Dominic. Although it's getting there. Yeah, so all these games are going to have online play with rollback netcode, which I know a lot of like fighting game people are very excited about. I don't know what that means versus whatever other versions of online play there are. And quick save and quick load, Dominic. So like mid-fight, if I'm like doing good and haven't gotten hit yet, I can quickly save. And then if I get my ass beat real quick after that, I can load back in. Obviously, that's like a single player thing. That's not, for online. But that's pretty cool.
This is the closest thing I can do when it's not like the cloud version of these fight games where it's like I can play off my Xbox Series X. Mm-hmm. I mean, Xbox Series X games. Because, like, that's the closest thing to, like, hurry up and play. Because I hate that wait. Like, that wait, that's what's really gets me, like, to stop playing. It's like, that's whatever. But, yeah, man, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, they already had like a Street Fighter collection, which is big. So I get why they don't put a lot of Street Fighter games there. You already got a collection for that. Yeah. It's good to see these other games.
Absolutely. Even though like at the end of it, they say 10 games, but like 3 of these Darkstalkers games,
and that's the problem. Yeah.
Darkstalkers 3 and
it was kind of like Street Fighter 2 because it was just all the variations of 2 and then all like, I mean, I know there's difference. I get it. I mean, for me, it's like
somebody, it's extremely important.
Yeah, somebody, it is. For me, it's like, dude, which one do I play? It's like which was the better one? What's the best one?
Yeah. I guess I just choose.
Just don't play the one. I mean, I guess the one that doesn't have Cammy is not the good one. That's the one I had because they didn't exist yet.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because it's like Super Street Fighter 2. I used to get mad. I was like, what? They got 4 new characters in here? I said, come on.
Well, that's like, I was reading the Darkstalker stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, Vampire Hunters 2 has these characters, but in Vampire Saviors 2, they took out these characters and they added these characters. And I'm like, wait a second, like, those 4 are like some of the most popular characters, I think. Like the werewolf dude, like
And they took them out.
Yeah, and like replace them.
Is it a balance issue? They say, is it possible for this werewolf to be here?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it's impossible if you have this character in the game to also have this character in the game. So yeah, it was weird because that's not stuff I ever really thought about too much because I'm just familiar with Darkstalkers 3. Like I didn't know about Vampire Saviors and Vampire Saviors 2 and Vampire Hunters 2. Like I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know none of those. So I don't know what the hell those are. Like that was the name of those games, and they would just.
Yeah, in Japan, it was the way they've released them to the arcades, so they're like slightly different versions. Like this one has these characters, and then this one has these characters. So then the sequel has those characters, but it doesn't have the other characters. Instead of just like bringing them all into the game. So
I want Mortal Kombat to do this.
Yeah,
like with the ones that came out on PlayStation 2. Like in Xbox and GameCube, those like the Deadly Alliance games and stuff.
I do like, I like Deadly Alliance. We can skip over 4, just move on to that one. Well, I don't know how complicated it would be to have the MK versus DC one added in there or not.
I know it's backwards compatible for Xbox anyway.
Oh wow,
yeah,
very cool. Gotcha. So. Yeah, that's the news for these past couple of weeks, Dominic. You see anything else?
All right. Oh yeah, because we always talk about Pokemon Scarlet, Violet. So yeah, Scarlet, Violet. So that's what it is. We want to talk about the Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we kind of went over as much of what we know about it so far, but
I mean, the pictures. Did you look at them?
Yeah, I would. I watched the trailer for that and saw the 3 new starters. I mean, what are your thoughts on the starters? Is there anything there that you're like leaning
I like them
towards?
better than the starters from what's the game you got?
Sword and Shield.
Yeah, I like them better than them. They look better than them to me.
Yeah, they're definitely a little more like vintage Pokemon like.
I just want to know these names. Like what they gonna call these guys, and when they gonna get like a.
I did see they have them already. Let me bring this up real quick. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
I want
Because they had them on the official website.
They didn't make a real version of what South Park did with Shoe, like called like Claudes or something.
Let's see. The grass cat is Sprigatio. Maybe it's Sprigatio because like gato is cat in Spanish. So there's that. You have,
so that's what this kind of place is taking place in, like
by.
Spain?
I think I did hear that it was something like based on Spain. I don't know where I saw that. But that, I guess, would make sense with the kind of Spanish-esque title. Because even the fire one is Fuecoco, like Fuego. So like that.
I don't see nothing different between Spain and Italian. I mean, the language is different, but they all look the same to me.
Yeah, I guess it could be Italy too, yeah. And then there's like the little watery bird guy, which is Quaxley. So I don't know if that's Spanish or Italian at all.
Quaxley. Like almost like a quack? Is it Q?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Quaxly.
All right.
Quaxley, maybe. Quaxley. Yeah, so they're all kind of cute. I wonder what their evolutions look like. I think that would be what determined which one I
Donald
picked.
Duck.
I think he looks a little too much like Farfetch'd or whatever, so I feel like I would go towards the cat. Although I'm not a huge grass Pokemon guy, even though that's what I went with the last Pokemon game, because I thought he was the best one. Grass Ape or whatever his name is. So, yeah, I mean, it looks good. I feel like the trailer looked more impressive than Arceus visually. So that's part of what makes me go like, if this game's coming out this year and I'm not going to have time to play Arceus right away anyway, I might as well at the very least wait and see how this game turns out compared to that.
What's up with the like the security guard in the trailer thing, like the human,
like the real human stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people were speculating that it was basically like they were going to tease that it was like a Pokemon Go thing, because there was a lot of that as part of this event. And then they were like, oh, it's a real Pokemon game. So I think people were, I don't know, maybe that's what Nintendo was going for, is like, oh, yay, another Pokemon Go thing. Oh my God, it's an actual Pokemon game. That kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the environments just look busier, you know? It looks like there's more going on than there were in Arceus. And even from those trailers, they seemed bland. Whereas this, maybe they're lying to us and just showing us some stuff that it's not going to be able to do. You know, it's going to get on our consoles and run at like half the speed or something like that. But I don't know. Looks pretty good, Dominic. Looks pretty good. If Arceus wasn't a thing and they just showed this as the next Pokemon game, I'd be like, oh shit, that's crazy. Although they really haven't shown the gameplay of it. So I think it's just a lot of assumption that this is going to be more similar gameplay wise to Arceus, but maybe it could just be wrong and it's the same old thing, but at least they have wild Pokemon running around. I mean, technically in Sword and Shield they do, because they have that open area.
Yeah, technically they did. Yeah.
So,
but they still had random battles too, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
You need to get to the point where it's not random battles and they just have it on screen.
Exactly. That's I think what Arceus has, right? Is basically
I have no idea, really, honestly.
Yeah. But I think that's the case with that game, which is why it's so intriguing. And hopefully they do that with this game, unless they think like, oh, we've got that game. We'll, continue with the Arceus series and have that kind of gameplay. And we'll also continue with the mainline Pokemon and have our more traditional gameplay. I don't know. See, now the more I talk about it, the more I want to like explore Arceus and get a feel for that. Because the idea of like just seeing everything and also just being able to roll up on a Pokemon and be like, yo, I'm throwing a Pokeball at your back. And guess what? You're caught because you're weak and I don't need to fight you is cool. And then you can also just be like, oh, I'm going to throw my Pokemon out.
And I'm superior to you. It's in the Bible. I'm superior to you.
Now here, manufacture guns for me. All right. Yeah. Gotta save myself for Pal World. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe if I was gonna say if I see a sale, but I don't think Nintendo's putting that game on sale on the eShop anytime soon. But Amazon does have the e-cards on sale right now for like $45 for a $50 one. I was gonna buy like one or two of those because that saves, a couple of dollars here and there. So anyway, that's where I'm at, Dominic. Where are you at? You got anything else?
So I think we're good. If we miss anything, we just talk about next week.
All right.
Or never.
Or whenever, or never. If you got a problem with that, write in comments. We got comments on the website. We got comments on YouTube. We got Twitter handles. You know where to find us. All right. New releases, Dominic. We got Destiny 2 expansion, The Witch Queen for the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X. What do you think? Destiny? Time to go back?
I can't. I know it's free, but I can't get this for free. Yeah. Right? You have to pay for this, right?
I believe so.
So I'm not going back. And because it's not on Xbox anymore either. So
yeah. I was talking to a guy at work before I went on vacation about Destiny and basically told him what we've said in the past is like Destiny 1 burned us so bad that I've had like no interest whatsoever to ever go back to that game. And I still feel that way. And they haven't done anything since then to make me go, oh, I feel like I'm missing out.
Nah, I'm not. Because I played enough knowing that. And since I know I can't get to, listen, people can tell me those raids, can't get to them because I don't have people to go. You don't let me do random.
Exactly.
Like play with people to try it out. So whatever.
Yeah. And then you like actively warned me against doing that because like, God forbid I talk to a stranger or something like that.
I know, which is like, that's the risk of online. We all know that.
So there's some weird shit
and
going on.
Little kids should be playing this game. Getting this game ready T. So don't give me that shit.
Yeah.
Blame their mommies and daddies.
All right. Next up, Dominic, Grid Legends out now on the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. That's actually gotten pretty good reviews.
Is this a racing game?
Yeah, that's the grid racing game, but this one has like the characters and the story to it, which that's actually cool. We also have Babylon Fall for the PC, PS4, and PS5. That's that Platinum Games live servicey looking game. It is not faring well in reviews right now, so that sucks. We also have a Gran Turismo 7, Dominic, on the PS4 and PS5. It feels like this one snuck out a little bit.
6 was on the 3?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yes.
Because
Sport
that was
on 4,
Sport, right?
Yeah.
That was Sport on 4.
Yep. Yeah. So it's been a while since a traditional game. Metacritic, I think it's like at 88 right now. Because I looked it up to see how it was comparing to Grid Legends, because I thought it would have been funny if Grid Legends was scoring higher, but it is not. It's coming in like 75, and Gran Turismo 7 is at 88. So if you were into that style of racing, check that out. So
this is still strict simulation.
Yes.
They didn't do nothing that makes like, hey, it's a little arcadey here. It's
hardcore simulation, Dominic. This is no Forza for you. They should do Gran Turismo Horizons. Yeah. Or Gran Turismo Verticals and go that direction. All right, we got Triangle Strategy. That's now out on the Nintendo Switch. Dominic, any interest in Triangle Strategy?
Somewhat, but I actually want to play that other game. I keep forgetting that game's on PC.
Which one's that?
Octopath.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think it's on Xbox Game Pass. I want to say it's on
Xbox Game Pass. At one point
it
definitely was, yeah. Game Pass.
Totally forgot about that damn game.
Yes, it is currently available via Game Pass. All right, so you got that. We also have Shadow Warrior 3, which we mentioned earlier. That's
I'm
out on the PC,
I'm gonna start playing
PS4,
Shadow
and
Warrior
Xbox
2
One.
so I can catch up to the story. It won't make sense to me to go to 3. I won't understand what the hell's going on.
No, you won't.
I won't know where to shoot.
Let's see. Where is the Metacritic on that right now? 72. So doing all right. GameSpew gave it an 80. So if you're into what GameSpew gives you, Dominic. And of course, kind of the biggest one for a certain subset of our audience, Elden Ring, Dominic. That is now out on the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X.
Yeah, my computer cannot run it.
Yes.
It cannot. It sucks. But excuse me. Though I hear that that's been a problem with other people's PCs who should be able to run it.
Yeah, I definitely heard I did hear that they ran a patch on it.
Oh, okay.
Because this also came, we didn't really talk about it because there wasn't really much to talk about. It wasn't like there were launch games or anything like that. But the Steam Deck is now officially out. And I mean, you can't really get your hands on one. If you order one now, you probably won't get it till like quarter 2 or 3 or something like that of this year, I think. But they released a patch for that to make it run because obviously people were, coinciding both of those releases, people were excited to play that game on that system. So I know they released.
I think the menu music is pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good, man. And I was into it. I was like, oh yeah, I want to play this. And then I got killed.
OST for that.
And then I was like, oh no, this is still not my kind of game.
Yeah. And this is like, you can't pause the game at all. I saw that there was like a mod out there so you can pause the game.
A mod. You motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Not troll them, but just put angry messages to those people because how they ruined the game, putting a mod of a pause game.
Yeah.
I mean, a pause in the game. Like, what the hell? What are you doing?
As we talk about this game, I literally just saw my brother-in-law's Steam notification pop up saying that he has started playing this game.
Okay. So. Yeah, but it's just those games ain't my type of game. Like Sekiro, I actually did like, but I cheated. Also, right. The whole theme and everything about that game, I like more.
Right.
For some reason. Maybe because it's more of that feudal Japan kind of thing.
Less weird, like dreary European stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's very boring. And like, I'm fine with it, but you gotta give me a good story. Like, like Game of Thrones. I mean, that's stuff, but...
Well, let me tell you about a game that is written by a certain George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, he's written by him, but I'm just going through the first part. I'm not really seeing a lot of story. Maybe something comes up, but I still don't think... I'm not hearing nobody talk about the story. Put it like this when I'm seeing this game. I'm not hearing anybody talk about the story, so I don't know what the hell... Did he really have to be a writer up here? Or it really was just
the way he described this sword that I just picked up is incredible, Dominic.
Yes. I didn't see no flaccid penises either, so I don't know what was his mark on this game yet.
I was going to say this sword slept with its brother's sword, and that was his mark on the game. It's got to be incest, Dominic. So yeah, Elden Ring, that's one where like I'm hearing such good things about it that I'm like, would I be into it? Like, does it fix enough of what I don't like about a Demon Souls or a Dark Souls that I could get into this? And I am not entirely convinced one way or the other that I would or would not be into this thing. So
I'm thinking like the way that people talk about this, I'm like, okay, so I don't need to know what game of the year is to tell me what number 2 is so I can know, because I already know y'all gonna put this one. Whoever number 2, what's your number 2 game of the year? Because that's what I'm going to really be like. Okay, that's I'll compare that, because I think this is like it's gonna be y'all's, but I have no interest.
Yeah, because that game currently has a 97 on Metacritic.
If I had a PC that could run it, I would enjoy it a little bit more, because I would have these cheats going and I can say, okay, I got to this boss. It wasn't that hard for me.
Yeah.
It seems to be hard for everybody else. But
I do wonder how that would perform on my PC. And if it doesn't run well on yours, I don't think I have much hope that it would run any better on mine.
Is there any way to turn off your operating system and still play the game?
Just run it through through the BIOS.
Yeah.
I just boot into Elden Ring.
I just need nothing else running. I need all the power.
All power. Yeah.
It just sucks because I'm like, I just think the way it's optimized, really. That's really what it is. Because it's like...
Yeah, because when you have people with super powerful computers still saying that it's running like trash.
And I'm like looking at the game, I'm like, I play better games than this, but it may be other things behind the scenes that's possibly why. I mean, it's still, even if they was optimized, it'd probably be hard. But I wish there was a way where I could put it on low and I can just be like, okay, it looks like what it will. Wait a minute, this game is on Xbox One, right?
Yes.
Well, then I wish I could just optimize it so it could look like I'm running on Xbox One.
Well, I would say that. I don't know how, or I haven't seen anybody talk about that, honestly.
I mean, I'm sure it's shitty, but I bet you it's probably more playable than what I can do.
Speaking of really shitty looking games that I played and forgot I played because it was before I went on vacation, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to talk about it, if there's like some sort of NDA, but I did end up playing some of that MLB The Show on the Switch, and boy, that game looked like trash.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did text me that it looked like trash.
It looked like a PlayStation 1 game.
So I know. Well, I know I'm not going to be buying it then.
I might be exaggerating PlayStation 1, but it looked like I would say PlayStation 2.
They should just stream it.
Run smoothly. What's that?
They should stream it. Like
they really should. I mean, if they can get the latency low enough that it doesn't give you trouble at bat, like because that game is the jaggies on that game pierced my eyeballs, Dominic. I was shocked at how bad that game looked. Maybe they should make like a cartoony version for the Switch. Add some Nicktoons to it.
How did 2K look? I never played 2K on the Switch.
Yeah, did I play it? I feel like I downloaded the demo because there was a demo for it and it looked okay. But I don't know.
But the 2K people are better than MLB because hell, like I told you on the Xbox one, like it ran good on the Series X, but graphically it wasn't great.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. I don't want to say shocked, but I am surprised at the amount of 10s that Elden Ring has gotten. Like I'm going down the list. IGN gave it a 10. Game Informer gave it a 10. GameSpot gave it a 10.
I mean, the gameplay is incredible. I just suck.
I mean, get good, Dominic. Get good.
Well,
Easy Alliance only give it a 95.
I really have a chance to. I mean, like I said, the game runs. It takes forever for me to load in the goddamn thing.
Tell your computer to get good, Dominic.
Yeah, unless I tell the computer, come on, computer, get good.
That's what I got to do. This is what
I wanted to try. I was like, I'm going to try, even though I had no fucking weapon. Maybe I was supposed to die. Maybe that's the thing. I was supposed to, because he did. When I died, I was somewhere totally different.
And had to climb up like an underworld or something that you.
Yeah. And then I went the wrong way there too.
I mean, that's the thing that gets me about these, like, their hard games is like, if what's supposed to tell me whether I'm going the right direction is whether something's hard or not, how do I know if this is hard for the sake of being hard or if this is hard because I'm not good enough or I'm not powered up enough?
Yeah.
How do I know if I'm not powered up enough or if I'm not good enough at the game is what I'm saying, basically. Because I think that's the problem that I had with Bloodborne. Like, I think I like Bloodborne better than any of the other ones that I played.
Mm-hmm.
But I never really got anywhere because if I went one direction, I was getting killed by some dude that seemed like he was way too powerful for me. Or I went another direction and it seemed like I was getting attacked by many enemies who I couldn't handle. So was that like me going in the right direction and me just not being good enough? Or
dodging right?
Or was there a whole other place that I was supposed to be going that I didn't No. And this just complicates that more, right? By it being like a completely open thing like Zelda. So like I could go in any direction and, you know, not be able to proceed.
Can you climb in this game?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, I ran up to a wall, but I didn't know I was pressing the wrong button or not.
You got to jump on the back of your goat.
You just didn't grab it. But then again, for a game like this, I wouldn't be surprised you got to hit like 3 buttons at a time to grab the wall or something like that.
It does not seem like it.
Okay.
Because everything, when I type in climb, it's talking about ladders or climbing the tower kind of thing, not actual climbing. So, yeah. Yeah. So that's what we got for the week, Dominic. What do you think? Anything else?
Nah, man, I'm good, man.
All right. Thank
Jesus
you guys.
Christ, it's 2:00.
Thank you guys as always for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStallworth5. I'm at RegulusMB. Podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has all of our previous podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon. And until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you.